He's not tied to the aprons of the AG
Brad
when
Kwame,
it comes to
Brad
matters
Kwame.
of prosecution.
No, Brad Kwame. You see what we must all understand in this country, and they say, the existence of any organization is either constitutional or statutory. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. If the existence of every organization or member is either statutory or constitutional, then the thing we must all appreciate is that electoral commission is established by the constitution itself.
Uh-huh.
And its independence is established by the constitution. And the judiciary is established by the constitution itself. And its independence is guaranteed.
Under the constitution.
Has the constitution guaranteed the independence of the special prosecutor?
No. And it's a creation of parliament too. The office of the
It's a creation of parliament. Where did parliament draw its power to create that office?
From the constitution.
Absolutely. You see, it's an executive initiative. And your executive will not create the no.
Metuasia yi ana obi tie no watuasia. Ade a constitution wa create no. E was soro saying the parliament no a create because parliament no draw the powers from the constitution.
Article 11 of the constitution, heading sources of law, it ranks the constitution supreme. SRAJ is independent, constitutionally created. Bank of Ghana, constitution. Electoral Commission, constitution. Auditor General, constitution. Office of Special Prosecutor, is it a constitutional establishment?
No, but it was created by an act of parliament.
In fact, back when we said there is only one ministry that has mentioning in the constitution.
The Attorney General now.
The Minister of Justice and Attorney General. It's only to me in our Oma will be. That's all. Only to me in Oma will be. And you see, at the time I'm almost setting up the office. No. Sebi. The euphoria. Ninjina say, Yanya Mahama. Yebegu Menima say. Yanya Mahama, any appointees. Yebabegu Menima say. Ye the prosecution at the Babe Tata Omo Ewo Memuhanom. Ye the Gu Menima say. Into ya. At that time, no. Omo Ntuomo in setting up the office. In fact, the office was particularly established to run down John Mahama and his appointees after the 2016 election. Immediately when Martina Midu was appointed, there was jubilation in this country. Okay.
Oh, anti-corruption campaign, citizen vigilante, and all that.
Debbie, the circumstance under which Martin Edifi NDC as a foundational member for the YAW in the field. And so the whole idea is, okay, let's use one of their own to hunt them down. Look, the first case as special prosecutor at the court when the office was established was the case of the Republic versus Mahama Yariga. Urefi.
Kaipa. Emedu baby kura no kan say Mahama Martin Midu ka say Mahama Yariga kura ti se ne ba, but still notwithstanding some of the boni ba na ba obe prosecuting.
Mahama Yariga papa were contemporaries.
Okay.
Of almost cinema. Yes. Okay. And at that time, MPP, the other can be a monte because they felt so they've gotten a hitman who would destroy President Mahama and destroy his appointees for them. And so the near Kenya it didn't matter to them until say, bruh, the matter happened. Martin Amidu now decided to do the corruption risk assessment on a Japa deal. Okay.
Kai papa.
Or implicating
Ekoye mother serpent of all corruption. Be a epis to be your church or enemy.
Or implicating Kenofoyata in a deal. The problem with Nana Dubai, a mother serpent of corruption. Okay. In the man resigning, yeah. So the lacuna, the problem that was created from its inception, said you, black man, said Ghana, even I can remember.
Council, and Sunday, because Sabreno, now Martinamidu, cases are no prosecuting now, no court or drawn powers, no, and now could to me free agent at that time, and I said, no, or Yena Adia said, you know,
Nadia. Inti, I say, would you not raise any issue about this question? Yes, we are NDC politics. And because NDC 4 year corrupting, they don't want the office of special prosecutor. But until say, Martin Amidu, asem any nana AC and option, Adi, Yanshe a baby Dani and albatross on our neck. Then, Oshaya and Chebiana ABAJ contract
National Procurement Authority.
In some no started by in a Mrs. Cecilia Dapa anyway, Adia ya she had the baby ha NDC for no. A yard Dani Sintibia Eddie Amayan. So Kai, him and any Mordecai.
Aye, Sabre, Wako see a send we are all concerned is Wako boy in a money. Because we are saying no, hey, mano, and a yasen also.
That can be dating a yen peddlers and yen smear, dear sir. We are some of the booming Dia obesum amo bino. It will be fall. Adiana no my yesi ye the bad the good John Mahama animals no. To see I bet that missing Tibia edia more right into the election in 2024. Intermediate, the dear new way. I don't think this thing we should even, even lose sleep over it. Simple. Office of Special Prosecutor, right to the Attorney General. That.
Council, why court na ameki ruling on co-warranto application. Say, ontimi and the mandate. Wabra, say, me pacho, court no betimi akase. High court betimi akase. It is a case is a woody in answer for come Attorney General. Was there a ruling and I be a whole ruling man?
Because
where I can we no. Does it affect other cases or other courts and so?
Said Kwame or my Mohano. I did be or high judicial review. Judicial review no okwa. And you might be or a ya ubisa. One, your friend is Seshurara. Say Adena o ye no. Sebio Emra ma who can say yellow. Ebia what go beyond that emrano in doing it. Who makes me all right too. But Emran Emma who can why ye beyond it. It will be all yes you say right. Yeah, they are quashia dear no. They are bo at a prohibition. Almost say anamona woo to know. Anamono who to me into a Jamaica project as a court for tabo Emmanuel Quine Emmanuel Coso to a prohibit to stop you. Any year, Bakubia your friend co-warranto from the Latin word by what warrant. by what warrant? Bibia Osmafobia, eye, okaya, enkantity, Yosmawa, na ye de paper, ya chichiri paper, near the ash. Said you might be a warrant, a commission, a to me. In which I am for, encounter. Or my warrant now, not ordinary, the seal at the atoso.
A yan in son,
Then some that atoso, a warrant to me, commission. Inti, Sebio, Utu Sana Mona, na a Kobasi would do the other king who are, what the trainer when you say, this person has the authority from ABCD to do ABCD undertaking. Into the English courts now developing what became known as the co-warranto application. And it's a simple question. Then the mouth
you can't exceed your mandate.
That be into Osha, application of branch I friend of high at the core, the higher court no. Osha, a very simple application or say Charino, the reading of Article Section 4 of the OSP Act, no, say, Sebio, to me, say, Utimi, a year the obey, but under the authority of the Attorney General. Into the show, any deem, court, would you be show your warrants? Say, easy, Echo court no prosecutor for so I no electricity. What challenge you say what is your warrant or the Attorney General Fiat no the beba or that here. Snake a prosecutor say untia and Crawford snake contribution and our delay. Onya rezi or rezi co-warrant now the Attorney General Fiat no ediaba.
Also, a Special Prosecutor Act 2017 for 2 no or say me kind 2 no subject to clause 4 of the Article 88 of the Constitution. The office shall, for the purposes of this act, be authorized by the Attorney General to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption and corruption-related offences.
Into Oshaya, Parliament grant and confer that authorization to the office.
Okay.
Fine. You see, Parliament could have cleverly conferred that authorization, but Parliament knew say, only these are 2 million. That power was never given to Parliament. That power was exclusively reserved for the Attorney General. Into the Sakai view.
Say. Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017 Section 4(2) subject to clause 4 of Article 88 of the Constitution.
Fantastic.
The office shall, for the purposes of this act, be authorized by the Attorney General to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption and corruption-related offences.
So the wedding, or say shall for the and the Parliament is realize only 2 minutes because you see in law you can't give what you don't have. So when Papa or Trey law no. Didn't the Professor Kwame Jan?
Oh, I am over Kwame Jan.
The Commissioner. Yeba law school for no. Or say nemo that called non-habit. That's the Latin phrase. Nemo that called non-habit. You can't give what you don't have. So Parliament realized that only needs 2 minutes, let alone to give it to somebody. Cleverly, Parliament only authority from Attorney General. I don't understand. This is a simple matter. Just write to the Attorney General. AG, pursuant to my mandate, having investigated this case, I want your fiat to proceed. And it's a one fiat for all your cases. And you say
one fiat for all your cases.
Yes. Yes. Ghana police for are they not prosecuting cases?
Bebre.
Police when they prosecute cases in the circuit and then the district courts. Police for they just gone for a fiat.
Sir, special prosecutor and my call for fiat. One farm, mamia. What are the avenues for me?
No, so the fiat is a one-off fiat.
One farm, me cry made.
No, there's nothing like that. It's a one-off fiat.
Okay.
And you say, and maybe who case piano now who come home that be. And you say maybe who will be and now who come home that be. One more fiat no that. So Senate prosecuted. And yes, they be a more case that they go to the attorney general. No, they don't do that. They don't.
The council, per the ruling now, High Court in the on this co-warranto application, what has happened? The effect in the same. The editor Bonti has one second attorney general.
The order,
if you say we need that to me, as with the prosecution, no, it be there be. No, it doesn't affect other cases. What other courts? No, near there. My addition,
once your authority is deprived, you see there are two schools of thought. Say, the judge could have stayed his proceedings. Pursuant to Article 132, but Article 132 or no.
Pacho Annie making come was 132. Article 132.
Article 132. Or say, in the course of any proceedings.
Pacho, in the or say, a constitution are making Article 132. Where or say, where an issue that relates to a matter or question referred to in clause 1 of this article arises in any proceedings in the court other than the Supreme Court, the courts shall stay the proceedings, shall, and refer the question of law involved to the Supreme Court for determination. And the court in which the question arose shall dispose of the case in accordance with the decision of the Supreme Court. Answer, Mackenzie. Na aman me council patrol minka. Council patrol minka. Sa a friend ma me na sa Avia
Papa.
Yeah, mra kakra.
Ai no pede me hu se emresu.
Me wie school me kwaye national service wo on Mampon court ho no.
Mampon court.
Opposite Ghana Commercial Bank.
Ai.
Na me na no wonim de me ye ho. Say onim say ono say bi school wa go wonim say me ye national service ana bi bisa.
Okay.
Na wona na no. Wona nam court ho ye de. Na dem 3 years so anopa okosua mansotwe.
Omwa waka ni pa. Enu anu waka no wa bone tofans waka asem ni nyina. Ukosua mansotwe. Enu anu no.
Wasan ba yen san ne nto akomoso. Kazo pacho yesam wakwaba.
Yes sir. Welcome.
Making kind article 130 clause 2. So my men san can be enough yen to am so.
Okay.
Where an issue that relates to a matter or question referred to in clause 1 of this article arises in any proceedings in a court other than the Supreme Court, the court shall stay the proceedings and refer the question of law involved to the Supreme Court for determination.
Fantastic.
And the court in which the question arose shall dispose of the case in accordance with the decision of the Supreme Court.
Fantastic. Into me, I say, Emrana may this case, Eugene for Bonnie, the Republic versus Eugene for Bonnie and others, that NCA matter.
Sure.
At a point in the trial, no, na the question and say, there be a prosecution witness about almost that document, Kwame, near Bisame, right in court with the other lawyers. Said there were objection to the tendering of that document. Into the na also a baby and say we have to be consulting our clients in court because we need the benefit of seeing those documents before the trial. Into me, I say me application be echo before my Lord Justice Chebafo. And I'm a plan to say the way I try we call open court in the beside your client, whether I say documents where it finds fair trial rules. Which may be application, no? Because that time me and my make lawyer kufu in an area attorney general office. If I lay affidavit in opposition to my application, then I may argue the application, no? Me catch there, my lord say, Article 19 on fair trial rules, no. Emma requiring for disclosures in criminal matters. It matters not whether it is on indictment or summary trial. AG by ebe can say that be omoni mi ya adwen na constitution no massive blanket disclosures in criminal matters. One I make catch my lord, with the greatest of respect. Article 132 say Ekoba say me the interpretation for the constitution also. Me say there is disclosure in all criminal matters. Attorney General said that it is only in trial by indictment since 1950, 50, sorry. Now, me can tell my lord say, me can agree the about Article 132. So, thankfully, my lord Justice Chebafo saw the strength of the argument in Article 132 because of say in the course of any proceedings, if an issue of interpretation arises, you shall stay and refer the matter. It means AJ on my lord Chebafo no so okay. Abrantie, me no yarding. And no, and now Oma referral to the Supreme Court and ne other than the case law. The Republic, the decision in the Republic versus Eugene Bafo on discovery in criminal matters. No, I'm here. Hello, Black.
Oh, teachers, udi one woman with that case law, no.
Me na me yes, no. Me application. Sata no me kai. Ma me Gloria Kufu ba court. No ma Evelyn Kilson. Oppose application, no. Me ina me de sadie no at the court. Ina based on a referral to the Supreme Court. In a Supreme Court, it decided say going forward in all criminal matters. There must be criminal disclosures. And in fact, I remember vividly that day before my Lord Chebafo. Meka Chen said, my Lord, imagine a situation where Obi Eno Eko, Wachichiro Isa Ewo Wechi, no si Yanko, Uya, or say Santo Kwani ye fair. Attorney based on utumi of all the security agencies who upper hand.
See, it way no, sir, trial judge, stayed the proceedings, no, refer the matter to the Supreme Court for interpretation. So Article 132, no, maybe.
Exactly. It was state proceedings in or referred to the Supreme Court. Many points and they said, okay, process now, a branch of medical courts now, Brackman, main kind. A provision in one of the things are now Ubisa Ewahano. Let me just share it with you briefly. And I thought say that should have been a red flag to the judge. Okay, relief that's relief 2. Or say a declaration that upon a true and proper interpretation of Article 88.4 of the 1992 Constitution and Section 4(2) of the Special Prosecutor Act. So as I say. So immediately all kinds of pet. I thought say it's an IG and bound. And back on me. Another one I mean yeah. Okay, Mrs. Senator.
Senator Rollins, yeah, sure.
Good. And now Minya Penny Gary Nimakum issue rates at the High Court. No, represent the plaintiff, honorable. It's all High Court, the relief one, or say, upon the true and proper, with the meaning of Article 94. You know who Yana said, it's in the wrong place. Into me, me call. If you tell my High Court judge, Emma, the decision, the application for it, man, the decision. I may fast application, my lord, is in error. While undermining Article 132, because relief in the senator matter, and then they say, within the meaning of Article 94, he said, or the interpretation they are so Article 94, and also Supreme Court, also on by a full majority. And non never establishing the case law in expertise and natural roles.
Okay.
Yes. It is based on that, And right now, me Eugene Bafobon, yes, an act of the end 2016. It's now me Bafobon, that was 2017, 2018. I referred the Senator matter. And my lord therefore agreed with me. And the correction, your friend Eugene Bafobon disclosures in criminal matters. Okay, for me, I thought maybe a safer thing a judge could have done was to say, I'm aware already there is a pending matter on this constitutionality and others about. So you know what? I will adopt the Pontius Pilate approach. So the Pontius Pilate. And now already I inquire issue at the buyer.
Pontius Pilate, yeah.
Okay, I say I inquire issue. That we need to me what so. It will be a Monfanunco Judea. Monfanunco Judea, the governor no becca or honor, a very final. At the point go beside you for Pharisee for and say, now branch your friend of Barabbas, only Christo, when I'm open, or me see a Barabbas. And
yes, sure.
Maybe it would have been safer for the trial judge. The High Court judge to say, okay, my attention has been drawn to pending matters before the Supreme Court. So you know what? Since I've seen relief 2, Article 80. I will adopt the Pontius Pilate approach.
Pending the determination of the matter, in respect of
because
interpretation by the Supreme Court.
Which 132 now, or say after that, the Supreme Court Becano, and not all the other courts ebefa. But you know what?
So the trial judge did not seek to do interpretation of that article, but or affirming what has been put there as an interpretation of the Constitution and what has been repeated in Section 4 and what the Special Prosecutor Act in one.
We share the prayers now. One of the prayers say a declaration that upon a true and proper interpretation. Onipa na odi asem na court ni relief 2 or say upon a true and proper interpretation of Article 88(4). It is prayer number 2. The supplication to say adieu for somebody Christo they call Pontius Pilate was so that was their prayer. Only release no any your man.
Na say the application court no ni prayer ne say court no interpretation high court no na interpretation Supreme Court na ya then na high court no ejina so affirm me say what is written in the constitution article 88 and what has been put out there in the office of the special prosecutor act should be say ejina ho said yet.
No, you see, Osha, yeah, high court powers now. Or say the high court shall have power in all criminal and civil matters. So usually, unless the lawyer on his feet draws the judge's attention. So I don't know, sir, in the course of the proceedings, whether lawyers from the office of the special prosecutor, said you, because the respondent is the office of the special prosecutor.
Yeah.
I don't know, sir, whether in that proceeding they drew my law's attention to Article 132. And if they did, what was my law's views on 132? Because it's very important, and I have done that twice. I did it in Senator, I did it in the Eugene Dafo Boni matter, and in both matters, eventually the Supreme Court agreed with me.
And then when you say woman draw court attention
in fact,
to
it was based
Article
on Senator matter now. The Supreme Court
judge in his own volition into
going forward, you can only challenge parliamentary elections and qualifications when the Electoral Commission has opened nominations.
132 no ekano. But
the law was fluid. I brought that clarity to that matter.
So I
In
make
fact, it's
respondents
reported in the Supreme Court of Ghana law.
office of the special prosecutor for now. When
I felt unless of course it was brought to the attention of the judge and the judge ignored it, and the record of proceedings will show said that objection was taken and the judge overruled the objection. Other than that, then there was a problem with the nature of representation that came from the office, because it was a fundamental thing to be taken, because prayer number 2 is clear, or say a declaration that upon a true and proper interpretation of Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution. So clearly, he had brought into question an interpretation. And Article 132 said, in the course of any proceeding, if an issue of interpretation stay and refer, was it brought to the attention of the trial judge?
Yes.
If it was not, then it was a serious legal miscalculation.
Wow.
In that case, you can't fault the judge.
Why?
Judges don't like
to be deprived of jurisdiction. Counsel, how did you fault to judge? No,
it will be difficult to fault him if the lawyers from the special prosecutor did not draw his attention to Article 132.
Oh, okay. And you don't know Adansi Amawo.
But the judge is a neutral person.
The law is the law.
Judge, yes, a judge can so much to raise the issue of jurisdiction. But most often, say the lawyer needs here to your
Annie.
Say the mama or client. Even though jurisdiction can so much to be raised, oftentimes the judges are not comfortable depriving themselves of jurisdiction. Lawyer, until America say, I'm saying this with caution. Say, about lawyers from the office of the special prosecutor echo court raise the issue of jurisdiction raise the issue of Article 132 If they didn't, then it was a serious legal miscalculation.
Oh. Now, as it stands now, the court new ruling, it affects
in
terms of special prosecutor and Jumedium. Dear Ben SCA, say the case of one now or Batuaso, and now say, so appeal against the ruling of the High Court in terms of in respect of the co-warranto application and ADA.
Emra ye call law school, no more can you be trained. Say as a lawyer, you don't decide, even as a litigant, which orders of the court to respect and which one to disrespect.
Hey.
Yes. You don't have an election. Which means, as for this order of the court, I will respect it. Wait there, I will not. Because at the end of the day, you are supposed to be law abiding. So maybe a lawyer can decide, say, look, I'm quickly filing a certiorari application that the judge exceeded in the jurisdiction. I want to appeal the decision and apply to stay the judgment and its effect. So there are all legal avenues opened.
I say, Otwasu any cases, without say recourse to maybe appeal.
Clearly.
And say, no, would they be in contempt of court? And now why?
Mr. Tikese Abia minimum or a law abiding. Said you set or the courts to be prosecuted. If at the end of the day the court makes an order, so they enforce it. Assuming the court convicts the people or the acquire, say immediately after the conviction or the umbeko in Sawam. The only reason why he would do that is that he respects the decision of the court. And so by parity of reasoning, Kisi or chair me criminal law. I'm not going to teach him the law. Or me, my law lecturer.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously knows what to do under the circumstance. But I strongly believe that this one should not raise any serious, dabi. There are straight legal avenues. You can apply for certiorari. In the certiorari application, you put in an application for stay. You can go ahead and do your work once you have the stay and the decision on the stay. It should be a simple matter.
Send run a buy be a copy of the ruling. Now, Fabi, a stay of execution. And now we're appealing against the decision
those days.
At a higher court, and now be a etisa. It's young way. Now, Mammy Faway Sumra, and now Baba Mando, NPP communicator, one also Equaye post to be and one could dear Muno. You remanded 2 weeks into prison custody by the court. Nanuna and Rakrano MP before your press conference, here Justin Kobia, General Secretary, the National Organizer, and a B. One which them one must say prosecution no and Tresse, Srewa Fanisi Mayan. Na Quapim say Bayan Remunewi, na judge na in his own volition. Now was it Medini Quaquacusi, one must say Bassa, a travesty of justice. Na Yagino Crano, se Wuti bin Musukrana was it Yagino, a casa one shen this yatadie.
Mete Saway no. I am one wapi. You see, Ghana, your politics is a very interesting politics. So, me branch youth organizer. Awoshi. Into all your video, and in the video, or concern for IGP who interior minister, we declare no wanted. We declare no wanted. In an abusive for bar me say, oh, a branch not be a director league. No, so a branch why a video online and what can say now police were declare no wanted. Bra, near the bushing for Omobamio. One, Mamusho, Met lawyer as director league of NDC, no station. Bra, a branch here and me fear Echo police station, Omudu, I say, Achano. The next day, at the narco. Bra, they a branch they can't say judge, circuit court, lady judge, be membership in bonity. And so, my lady, a branch here who publication, obey me, Johnny. But when Johnny, In fact, me and make a tell me say, Oma lawyer way and fano enco police no we no ye PPR. Bra, judge me ye BBA or say first of all or remand no into police custody 2 weeks. Yes, oh my lady, Obi a 190 Fiako police station. Why are you remanding the guy? The law is the law. Now, when you get see a cry after, bruh, when we said the judge started doing the case day by day, to the point he said, bruh, me know what can say. You do pointer, now the senior susu in a handle matter, and because of parliamentary duties, it is sometimes. Or better than one called Jim, or do a judge need to be changed of war if your lawyer is not you. And at the time, MPP, and I'm saying, say, this branch here, me at a point, Kranami, I'm a ferry. Because I gave all the assurance to the family. So, Yankasa Yekwa, everything will be lenient. Bruh, no can say. A branch here was convicted eventually by the judge 5 years imprisonment. What is Nanadi and Co talking about? I don't like hypocrisy. Look, when my branch here appear stadium.
And in Minimapia Stadium, pa.
This appear stadium. Me, can I be called Nane, CID headquarters. Appear stadium. Look, and you might be brave, across so my moha. I have always maintained in my practice that bills should never be used as a way of punishing people because of the overriding principle of presumption of innocence. Sometimes, no, I used to tell my friends in the MP lawyers, say, look, this power is to alternate NDC MPP. Let's straighten the law. Because the law is the only safeguard for us. Imbraniwa, Omana Baya jungle. Obia bed your pay. By that time they thought, oh, you know, he's hallucinating, we'll name the worker. And I made a press conference, Minia, Justin Kondria, and I'm saying, wow, one would be a boys like Atasa.
Atasa!
Yeah, and I'm saying, no, Minia Kondria. I'm broken.
I see.
That's one. Another one.
Because then you're ready, BB any Yabasan about on Chinese wedding como. That's a pa lawyer Godwin Eduji Tramaklo or your Mrenim said the medical canon. Now, where your MPA boss now or a director legal NDC any natural and common now. Oima
over.
If you feel no say. Yana e mame chewa ha.
Ai. Okay, camera.
E ba aya lawyer for asem, aya mra asem. It making kan bi sa na manya question bi so me de apempem wo mo.
Over why ade?
Say me na na say. Ai say na de osua mansotwen wo.
Ai mansotwen na osua ne ho abamfa so.
National service na me. But with him na me wo judge in office, Judge Adama office.
Oh, okay.
Aha.
And what bamfa so?
You be in there. Now with him, obi a we lawyer bia na wa call law school awie bia ne ade no. Wo mo adwuma no. Ese said the bia obata kenkan wo mmerem.
Wow.
Te me bay. Niema ahodo a me de baye.
Pa.
Me the constitution ne baye. Office of the Special Prosecutor Act ne baye.
Baye.
Me the Cyber Security Act no by
enye act kitwa 3 no aboswe
Criminal Offences Act 29 by
4 no
amendments no by beside the criminal and other offences a procedure no also by act 30 no by and na behind the Courts Act 1993 Act 459 beside ni nyina by
of a why ade
na kakra
why ade pa which is the way you committed we will show ni so why ade yesu ade very educative nyame show why ade
yes sir there be how interview na bom so say no ya anti na kire se sanet e na bedo ase
na je say o ba kire say o kira oni making kanti one king kanti oni idea papa bi enti na ne ona nko committee no nti na ne lawyer yedase eyasemo no kra eduma we die akenkan wo ma eboa
if you want to do it and do it well.
Yes.
Areas be okra na you might not be a medical person. But I say usua bibi fa wo kenkan bibi kakra fa wo. Area bi o wa e border on law. It's at least no kenkan bibi kakra fa wo. Kenkan na won tie ase a.
Wo
wo namfo a lawyer for. No abuso o mo say we no kra na e kire
sen. Enokre. And entina ma we money show president of the land no. And we differentiate you from others. Nyakopon shira. Awusia for ye shase e.
We all your de beje mu.
Oh, na me de beje jollof na yese kwa. Daily guide obokata eno na me de shase. Na me story wo kata fa to so amiensa. Omampanyi John Dramani Mahama de afutu ema Ghana foi. Omampanyi chese Ghana foi ye ne subanpa edi. Ye didie mu yema enhia yen. Ye ni di eyie na esu ni ban ya fatu ye ho so se ye da na di nso. Ye ne subanpa edi e wo yankase asetenam. A betumi aboa yen. Omampanyi si ekoba ne saa enyarewa bi a ensai non-communicable diseases no ye betumi atete so e wo yankasa enipadua emo. Omampanyi de afutu etu dwade a na chese enura ebra na order free primary health care and she shane edino and na onam so edi afutu a etise etu eja no mampanyi echirema wo say de ekame se ade achi ade asen eniema bebre na esesa e wo nipadua emu eniema esesa esan esu ni ban ya da na di e wo yedidie mu enti eniema esesa suba bia nipa ya fatu ye ho so ni ankase ye pese ye atese ye ntumi enye yadwense ye besesa eno akofa nyarewa bi ti say hypertension afesi che yare diabetes enkomamu yarewa eni yarewa bebre na abesue adasaso no mampanyi se wa hwewu se onipa dasani di no wanti woti faako wonso si ubedi aduane a emuodu ubedi nuane emuodu bi ti se banku ubedi nuane emuodu bi ti se fufuo wuni na dopa wuni na wia ubedi na najo anajo so wusi faako nso ya de ba wusi esha
yenkodi enkomo kakra emfa
ofa kobra
yani lawyer Ansa Asare was a former director Ghana School of Law and for encommendation so council memo channel pay
you so
akrampo muti sen
ampomu ye judiciary so apomu ye pa
mapomu ye pa yaba wo nchen ya yebagi adesua kakra wo emrem na enura yete ya yes high court ruling say office of the special prosecutor no woni tumi say wo betimi the assembly court for prosecution without recourse to the AG Attorney General department no ya de ekoye no akoye deja ye ne ye nimu mrei yes na say na city pa de wote ye ene emrem no de be na asie pa
yo me da say ne etimi say maybe a no one parliament pass law be almost they establish office of the special prosecutor no na edumatitu ana parliament ejidi so betumi ayene se obeboa ama omo a sebi otafache omo nsa akọware asin yi na omo afa
abai sika na ejapade bi woman fa na kwan so onfanya wo mu no onhwem na we no emra na parliament ehihye no ekire say office of the special prosecutor no eba be bibi sa na say womune attorney general kususum ene say attorney general ena tumi nyinaa yɛde prosecute no ɛwɔ no saa tumi no sɛ yɛbɛ prosecute obi sɛ yɛn prosecute obi no attorney general office no ɛna tumi ni nyinaa ɛwɔ na makyerɛkyerɛ mu ɛwɔ another station sɛ saa tumi yɛde ma attorney general efi mmerɛ a sɛbi tafrakyɛ English Queen Victoria ɛbrɛ so wɔn ne yɛn nananom anya wɔn baabi pa kɔ no ɛyɛ nhyɛ sɛ wɔn bɛboa na wɔn de ahwɛ yɛn mmara kwan so mmara nhyehyɛ ne biribiara nti efi 1874 no sɛ aban biara ba na ɔbɛ prosecute a attorney general ɛna ɔde tumi n'ama na ɔde yɛ nti parliament paase saa OSP Act at 995 no 959 no na wɔn ni sɛ saa mmerɛ yi na ɛwɔ hɔ ɛno nti no wɔn ayi mfi hɔ wɔn ni tumi a wɔn de yi afi hɔ nti wɔn kyerɛ sɛ OSP no kɔ akɔyɛ biribi a he shall na law mu no yɛ nso word shall na kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ ade ɛsesɛ ɛyɛ nti wɔn anyɛ a wɔn ni one family kwan so anye eno na nwura high court kyerɛ sɛ special prosecutions a ɔyɛ a one kɔgye to NC attorney general so ɔno wɔn susu mu no ankɔ yie na nyɛ ne kwan nti no saa emu biara special prosecutor no yɛ attorney general enim ho wie no wabɔ agu nanso bɛkae a every day actually no attorney general no actual letter akoma special prosecutor no special prosecutor and so actual ne dey akoma no nti na just say consultation wo and this consultation wo there na the attorney say special prosecutor no oje tumi no ebi if attorney general na busu yi say ni dey na say power struggle aba afamu no attorney general say we just say me what to me at 959 Emma me to me say me I call judge no fe mu ra no say o debi me man mo konkora constitution no na ewo attorney general na at 959 ewo office of the special prosecutor and special prosecutor no o ntumi ye bibia attorney general Emma ho kwan they say use attorney general no no oversight constitutional responsibility in all matters to prosecute and whether corruption then I'm still then you and say high court no can no any kwan so through the lawyer for me be say yeah, go judge, on so no miss out why interpret the constitution, I call judge, why interpret the constitution, I call judge,
council, say, one this assam call a co-warranto application, no, now one pray and say, high court, no, interpret say, what that to me no per the article 88 any affairs special prosecutor act no section 4 no na or what to me no na etina na bia ma almost yes argument no
so say back petition back at the Supreme Court dada hono na homo pe interpretation ba high court there no na court na o de when you say am say one interpret am. Now there is nothing to interpret. Court no bet me dismiss the case no. And now say, say, and now actually one bonus no. Judge no make just say, "Say they we are there by it doesn't call for any interpretation. Rather, no, me say, OSP na koye bibia, one G2 NC Attorney General, and the no, me, OSP no, yeah, no, and I all declare, say, unconstitutional, and say unconstitutional, to say, OSP no can, OSP say, judge Naka say unconstitutional, no, not just say Supreme Court no pay, and they beg to me, I can say unconstitutional, no, I striking it down, and this I yes, and I'm Rano SC. And Rano say, Supreme Court, or the BBA, or no, and that would me, answer, so, any enforcement, interpretation, enforcement of the fundamental human rights. Say chieftaincy matter wadanedi high court and me say high court now there's a question of interpretation. The high court will be states the question am Supreme Court no why but Supreme Court also I can't high court one say and then you know say one more day back.
Nature said there has been a communication from the apex court of the land to the high court and said, na whatever. Edu baby as show to me I make a determination of the matter.
You know, Supreme Court already it has too much, on this hand. Yeah, one also need judges, no high court for no case say the idea about winning now share now any idea so we be say interpreter. Men fama, go ahead and do it. Where BBHM and Mimian Guanfona voter region from near you. Only called January and said 2018 sign. People call and say, no, sir, I did we are Modia Bay. And so thank Amodeba. You could have done it. And see, I thought a dear. Then I say lawyer, what you say interpret, but there's nothing to interpret. Doesn't mean say therefore high court no can read. No. Obe church mu no achire interpretation bia emma. The mintia unconstitutional. And oko now say ya appointed minister di emra no ma ho kwan say ya appointed minister no. Clearly, no, unconstitutional. It doesn't have to go to the Supreme Court, for that pronouncement to be made. Who they call High Court, it will so declare it.
Council, Pacho, Wadaruma, Bakwana mi bisane say be a meme ye as application biako. Na release a me sikino. Ana say adia me prayer to the court say onye mameno. Man say ya court no answer to me yeah interpretation because the only call no almost more interpretation of the article article 88 so and now article 132 no so say bibi sa ekoso na say wo judge no say eba sa refer the matter a border on interpretation to the Supreme Court no was state proceedings no so to say wadaruma.
You na okay article 88 na interpretation there na room. Over article 81 clear interpretation there nim. Article 88(2) clear interpretation there nim. Article 88(3) and 4 clearly it shows all authority with regard to criminal prosecution is vested in the Attorney General, and no Santino, the Attorney General shall initiate and defend. In the OSP, say criminal prosecutioner or the docket no better Attorney General for advice. And no keke when he queen, and no keke say docket no call police murder case. Or the docket no call manslaughter, or the docket no call abortion, or the docket no call rape, or the docket no beko armed robbery or the docket no beko adentina corruption kwa de you better establish entity bi nyaka say no onim essay attorney general no and parliament will never pass any law render any constitutional provision to be inconsistent. Never. Parliament yes na Supreme Court begu. So I say the parliament no all OSP also share embrano. It was careful. Into BBBA no it knew say there exists an Article 88 and the BBBA no should conform to the letter and spirit of Article 88. And to know Bia say OSP Act statute no a distancing the whole Article 88 Debbie. There was nothing for the High Court judge to interpret about Article 88. Article 88.5 civil matter say far abide one attorney general say abide they say or they qua attorney general and they say G2 say office of the special prosecutor agency of government there, then it is caught squarely by Article 88 and therefore being a parastatal no na say opese or prosecution on find a docket no nyina attorney general for advice. That is all. That will satisfy the requirements that it shall do so in accordance with the laws of the land. And what is the law of the land? Article 88 3 and 4 and 5 period. Now over Article 88.1 attorney general no ne Bobby nyina hye Engineer Ade Akye Abia aka say OSP no or bigger than OSP no or share AG as far as
council
corruption and it's different.
Yeah, council. Yamo modena yensa enkanona few questions bi wo wa yebetimi eso ebusa no efansem na amana teko yebesa abaso oyima that is law
for you
yebe pomodin edi enkomo na entina nananu mugunsa a wom se mum ye nya abama ne
Yesai yare ni abama ni mum de ketwa bi anim
Father Bokrata no FM ne enko
Ofenti asema manugu so ameka o mampanyi Jondroman ma metu yefo se wote faako usiye ma ofufuo ne di wote faako usiye ma obanku ne di ye de banso a usiye swa enye se aduane so wudi na no pa na se wudi na wia anajo wudi di wia na wo koda wo se enye Ghana for yensesa yensu ni emban kra na emwa yen anyasa wudidi wi akoda de a sa ne aduane ne kra nyamo enda jesti yi en wapomudi unsenkan atimi akonkan wo se acha 7 anwume 7 de wo se wadidi awie wudidi wie ni hwibio ekom de wa pick up bi na pe tea kakra bi na enom ana bibi ya light bi na se 7 achi wo be se di aduane si se banku ana fufuo de na je se ntwa yie we nyina primary healthcare ya or lunch ana order na di no ase na omampanyi e di afutu sema etise amagana for
your excellency mesrawa we de eda me ba besra wanumre ne ye yi mi free sa afutuem why adawma me ba di wi a mafa from sa be do 37 and san mafa trotro na e ba la pa
o kira o baba na aduan na digest
mi nante sa no na atwe me ho
adawma
yeah mama enye
after 7 undi bibia
me kwa minidia na dwono
Ante sa wo de wonni di hwe kra tu de wafunu nyina na ekọ ene ya akontem
eti sa no mididi hwe a me
ko so nantim
nti mefa from sa nti binu 37 no
na chon
na digest come
Dr. Nkrumah obedi 37 na digest wo enti de bankura obedi fufu obedi
munyimi mfiri afutie we
yo enti ene Dr. Nkrumah amampanyi si many di after 7 why primary health care nti ne mo amani nyina medaso a daily guide obokat an katafa etosu ensia na arawo sembia si e wo manhia aprosifo wo ma akache e wa asante mantam emo manhia aprosifo ni asoja ko wo mu ye hwehwemu e dia fa ekwan enam so a abayo bi a wodi mfinhia nan woti na nanom yayaya e wo ensiedo abaye di e di Abdul Mumin Adiza na ochiema tese wonya diarrhea oja ne nan no ofi oja ne nan no ofi enti ni maami Grace yebo a ne ho yira no ene wabo ne boya bongo e na kopiem wo emergency unit e wo manhia government hospital e wo Kumase sa doctor for enhwe no maami ba wo se diarrhea ne ba ja ne nan no ofi eno wasem ene wo de ba ya tese ochiema diarrhea na ano ohyepa enti doctor for enhwe adokota for fefi akoda ani ase hwe no mse we die enye diarrhea keke o obi atro akoda yi emuna wo fa na nam afa de to e dia ka ho abaya wodi mfinhia nan enti adokota for ni gina ne so ntenten hwe no na Adiza gusu agi ayahwe e wo manhia government hospital team wati na nanom awansiedo na yaresabia ne eyi manhia prosifo asotie se busumi mu de to so ensia ena tese maami Grace yebo a edi ne ba bepie emergency unit manhia government hospital se ne ba na nya severe diarrhea pa enti yenhwe no ye gira ne so ntenti hwe na ebe hu se nya diarrhea keke ye sese no hu se na se ya tunum na ya fa ne bam afa ne to edi aka ho enti ye gira ne so ehwe no abaya wadi mfinhia ennan no wati na nanom ewansie do eno na prosifo mu o manhia eba ebe hwe Abdul Mumin Adiza ye baya ampa wati na nanom ewansie do na omo hwe no na omo hu se be ne to kwan no ajanan afi ho eba e na omo hwe na senso a omo sampa se de adokotafo no eka no munato bi akoso na se ene ne to eno nom se asemi mu oya mami na nie tutu aka ni nsem obatan onim nipa wodi ne bone a ente se enso se ye beka se yenka no ne ba na fi mu yayaya enti
posifo be hwem wo de me koma ba
edi ofa
ye ne lawyer John Dako any enkomo ye MP for Swame osaye emranimu ni na ye ne council dwetwe enkomo council me mo cha no pay
ofa mejuso
na umpom te sen
ready adama mejidi se wa so ne etifu obia ho ye kama
obia ehho ye enkomo a enura free court ba ye ruling bi a omde ba ye application bi anipa bi kodan court na ruling ni ba wia no bobọ kofi obia ne se ne wo si kiremu anopa ye di hu nkomo se ruling ne special prosecutor no woni tumi se wotim di asem bia court in respect of prosecution this attorney general no amane kwan minim se bepem nei waken kan commentaries ahodo a ewo ho emremu pa no sei na ensemisitie
family as a pa anyamisha so ama me kwan se menchire madwen wa se we ho the woman say special prosecutors act here nei at ye twena se ene apese ade a enye kura no ye hu se nyina na ye ka se ye pe oman ni nyina na ye ka se de keta se proye ekoso etitire wona wo ya bampanyimfo mu no ye hwe ni enye office bia ebetimi ahwe atu sa pro ne keta se na ye ka sa afi se na nipa dodo na se atenegina a ye apan lawyer no enam se empempi aban anase empenyi na aban no na eya na oyi nwani ntino edu baabi a na atenegina no onyina ne na so ni fa hodi ono nko abetimi akase midi asemi ekuti obi fi se aban na eyi ni mu ni nipa aye boni a ontumi nka ekoso ade bi ye nyina ye debate me akase yempe obi a we independent if you say ne ye wura Dominica ye ni o ya atenegina o de case bi etia ndisi ni court na president fere ka chen say withdraw na ma withdraw e ho no ho na president betimi yi na dia
president, and you can't say my reason, Obia is your president. That was the nature of the reasoning behind the establishment of the Office of Special Prosecutor. Say, Yempe officer, no dear, and Nipana or Yentini, and they who had the Office of Special Prosecutor and they occupy a position now. What was the military security of tenure? As an emblem, so yeah, Ubia to me and Pam, Robert me a Pamno Corner, you have to go through a constitutional process. Unlike a Attorney General as a president, can say Nipa way for local court, and a Nipa way case in the Yifu, why ya president ebetimi a year. So, Yenaya says, Yempe Ubia way independent. Okay, so once we are giving MP Ubia independent, then we were confronted with Article 88. And yes, I say my yeke, a fena, ye di hunkomu, and name one, it will be a Yenina Yamon Unconquechi, and Yema is here. Article 88 was hugely debated in Parliament and in the media during the passage of this act. The question was whether say, Obifo for Ebetimi Akoi Ade Akye Abia court Ebra. When ya Attorney General no, when you permission and that's when you authorization and then see this is your per se. Ye to me the prosecutor Akrofu, ye free Attorney General. The I'm paying, and I bring a person or court, uncle to me free Attorney General. And
Council, Pacho Wadamu, on to me, Council Pacho Wadama, on to me, Enko Fiat, to say, Wamudi be 2 minutes be ama police for, Wamudi be ama GRA, Wamudi be ama electricity company of Ghana. Want to be in for once. Now, yes, be a debia or prosecute issue be an hour.
If you look at the act, that section 4, what it means is that there was one-time authorization given to the special prosecutor by the establishment of the act. Sabra Act now, and Attorney General authorized it through the act. Authorized it. OSC which means cases. And it will be absurd, say, you be interpreting this to me because the High Court decision seems to suggest that a Office of Special Prosecutor or person with the case equal court to be just work with authorization. When your case in there, no authorization. When your case is no authorization. It would be absurd. And yes, sir, Office of Special Prosecutor Act, not Attorney General Office. Now we have always known this, and into the creation of the office was made in such a way that there will be one-time authorization for the Office of Special Prosecutor to bring his cases. So High Court judge say, sir, in that particular case, one could do authorization and the High Court judge, in my view, was completely wrong. Now, we should understand the politics, and I want to just give me 1 minute to explain because who say the whole office has become a target for the NDC since they came to power. In fact, a brand now you Kiseja Bay, ADMP for watching more Boston. The only time you know this in penny forecast at Attorney office, young Guno, a bra or Kofa Party, Pebu, a court, and one of me a year around the Fiamepo, any a penny, a young majority leader. Umukofa Braba say Office of Special Prosecutor, young Motu Kra. They wanted to completely repeal it. A free honor. And now a branch be only some side, any Muktari Bawa, Omuya Juma, or the same firm. What did a petition, Uncle Supreme Court say, a special prosecutor also cry their own constitution, young your course, winning the Attorney General. Was see one year branch and now, a year, some star office, near Attorney General, or a year, OSC office, Yamu. So clearly, you can see that there's a grand attempt to cripple the will of the Office of Special Prosecutor because they say, a year, Kiseja, been doing the paying people for one, and was saying people for every. Now, with Nani, I find beautiful, Omonia Masha said, your Bonnie Masha said, with Nani, and you will not tap and cry, Safrani, my brother, and I should be asking. That is the
Council now say the Kiseja been doing the MP before and why the I am. Someone more than buy and why am they? More than what I am.
Of Ampacho, the one who said, near Ma, Kiseja, baby, people for Jawin, and near Ma, all the cases or here.
Show me the minimum.
I don't want us to go there. I think the most important thing, and American say, and then in the case of NPP, you MPP, when you I can't this if one of my shots here in Kuma, he said that made us some no, and also one just Naseseno say, yeah. What be per se will pursue and this if almost say, what the command general, Obabagu, Attorney General, and Premier for Kesibia, ITNDC, and Cocos. And no almost so, and it's in that woman I come boom, like a banner saying, and a war Deputy Attorney General office, a branch for Yajumo, the presidential, chief presidential aide, law firm, Muktara Bawa law firm, now branch or Tiho, essay. Well, the case you caucus, no, they can see a more special prosecutor in the office. Now, caucus as when you are branch and you are doing pepe. And then more officer of special prosecutor. So let's understand the politics that is going on. In the case of the judge, I think he fell into a trapper. There was one-time authorization, and that has formed the basis for the office of special prosecutor. In the case is your diabenina.
One-time authorization. Yeah, where can it be found? Sorry, Council. But one-time authorization. No, what must you run the Constitution? Man, Office of a Special Prosecutor Act. You be one way.
Who share Office of Special Prosecutor Emrana Edahona me say who read there by the creation of the act the same for to know be subject to the clause 4 of Article 88 and no the amount intelligence on kwane itimi asem court the office is it says that the office shall for the purpose of this act be authorized by the Attorney General to initiate. So, for the purposes of the special prosecutor, for the purpose in the Juma of be authorized. So, and this is a shame, and you see, for this purpose, the Attorney General has authorized the special prosecutor to initiate cases. That is what it is. The same particular provision, you can read that into it. And then one-time authorization, because it isn't yet a special prosecutor, yet he said, only independent, no one to me, cases be open, and court. So, for the purpose of this act, he has been authorized without the need to go to the Attorney General anytime he wants to bring a case against anybody. That is what it is.
Wow. Now, Mammy, we are dear way. Nipana, what this are called warranto application, no. At the court, a year court, no. The Pacono, ni prayer, and say, or could seek interpretation. Now, some minam dig abasa me seek interpretation. The Pacono, who mammy ruling, ruling, no, other than the mina me baba huenwana. Emremune, court wa mukoya ne tesisa.
The truth is that court, who can't be a power. Not based on the work, court, I have heard your mama. And it's a branch in the case, no court, so or here interpretation. No, said that in the country and say, about interpretation of the Constitution, yeah, you need to me, no one is a few, no fair matter to the Supreme Court. I didn't follow about of interpretation was in the Maccabi before. As I say, because also of interpretation, we know as lawyers and as a judge, he knows that he doesn't have the power to interpret the Constitution. The interpretation of the Constitution is a limited jurisdiction given to the Supreme Court. If you apply an interpretation to know, you refer the person to the court. So that was also another trap. But he felt said, basically, I'm not interpreting it. But indeed, what he did was interpretation, and the other Constitution. So if you look at the constitutional provision and the act, then to the extent that in his view, the act is inconsistent with the Constitution, then this particular provision is void. And then I think he even sought to declare that all the prosecutions that as the Office of Attorney General, they should withdraw, they should go and seek the authorization of the Attorney General. That's also completely wrong because High Court to be is more or less independent. In law, we say that they are courts of coordinate jurisdiction. High Court, Court A, what do you mean? Court B say, or why interpretation into also from? No, it is only a higher court, as in this case, either the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court decision that is binding on all the high courts. But all the high courts can interpret this completely. And you know, that is why high court judges are not allowed to interpret constitutional provisions, because it is only the Supreme Court which decision will be binding on all the high courts.
It is and Kwame who's a special prosecutor or court ne ADSM, but ne bi mo ka say wo ma order bi say ni cases a wo die nyina no won fa sa cases a wo die nyina ensa nko ma age na age ehwe so per se bia obema no pending authorization from the Attorney General. Na no obetimi amasa order no. Aha, pacho de na me pese me kan say. The Sabbath year question say the court further directed say cases are special prosecutor die nyina won san fan koma eye age. And then so be say enekra age special prosecutor is in court with others bia yabo om kwadu sa order no enokre say court no directly say on fan cases nyina nkoma wo mo.
The ruling I might say it looks like I know kind, but that was in excess of his jurisdiction. Who look the one court no pen abetimiaka. That's what I'm saying. Say we are high court judge. Who decision cannot be binding on another high court judge. That interpretation here or no Ediama section 4.2 no. Another high court judge may have a different interpretation altogether. And I'm saying that because they are courts of coordinate jurisdiction, his decision is not binding on any other court. If all the other high courts will make me come. Now, they will not violate any law if you go ahead to hear any of the cases they have today. Or not interpreting the law this way. So you won't find it there. Another high court judge will interpret it different way. No. He will listen to them. Now it is only the Supreme Court which decision will be binding on all the all the lower courts. And you know the court was completely wrong by giving that order. He had no such authority. The one court no pay and also to me. He had no authority to order them to take out all the other cases in the other high court, because the other high court may assume jurisdiction on the basis that there's one-time authorization given to the special prosecutor to prosecute the case, and then they go ahead to hear the cases. And all the cases here, high court judges, they knew of this particular provision, and they knew that Office of Special Prosecutor any authorization there, because by this act, the Office of Special Prosecutor is authorized to bring an action against anybody without having to go to the Attorney General's office for a specific authorization.
Now, a case of say obidia court for interpretation. Nani pakron said the usi chile krano one Deputy Attorney General na ye aduma no so Attorney General's department no actual to the apex court of the land. They say what they almost so air can so I heard they say empo special prosecutor in the office no Troy senka ombe join the case ya man join it the outcome no e bet me a favor office of the special prosecutor ni.
Well, I mean, look, that is where we are as a country. We are at a crossroads whether we really want to fight corruption in public office or not. And I say, nay, and any day, keke, and a nay. In fact, yet we are no man, one woman, no more power. They were the same people who are asking for the establishment of special prosecutor's office. But look, I think that at this point, I trust the Supreme Court to do the right thing. Look, even though some side office, boy, you're filing application, and Mutari Bawa, Branchi, any Attorney General, I don't think that from Office of the President, and from Attorney General Office, Omakabum, and this application, you go to Supreme Court. I believe that the Supreme Court will do the right thing, because if the two of you, the plaintiffs and the defendants, you have a misapprehension of a particular meaning of a constitutional interpretation, the Supreme Court will not sit idly by. You may have a misapprehension of what it means. The Supreme Court may do the right thing and say, e wo msa mu mienu ya se enku nifa de ba ye de ejidi say outside de ne da bonkum. That can happen in this ruling. That can in this application with the Supreme Court. That can happen. And it's let's wait. Let's abide the Supreme Court ruling on this matter. And I'm hopeful. The Supreme Court said, or share even the mere fact say Office of the President and Office of Attorney General, I can't boom the application about the Office of Special Prosecutor. The mere fact of my crown should ask the Supreme Court judges to set up. No say, there is something untoward going on. And I believe when they look at the law, and I also want to believe that they will listen to even the parliamentary proceedings. The hands that all these things were captured. So the makers of the law knew. And no more to me no kakra at the mass. By this act, they had created an office. Independent. I am not able to make the assembly. Akokot abra any concern abrabia okoje to be Attorney General. So I believe that the Supreme Court will do the right thing.
Council, Mamena was no penamentation from Famao. Council, Mamena was mention from Famao.
Presume that's opinion. I mean, I know it's if we the line of Kakra, but I think that we've made our point. Thank you.
Basically, that's a lawyer John Darko. Me a minimum at the crumbs said Darko. Na MP for Swami or Emrenim ni na twinkomo. Bepa mo chow onga de eba so no obia de bia ye aduane oba bia wo person aduane ye de onim onga na onga de enti enam so de ye aduane ma aduane ye de enti no ena obenya abodin ye friend ongalicious na ebra so say ye muaye mo amodi onga ye aduane no wo so a wo fa bi nya aduane da no bo modene sha ase fa bi ye aduane na ongalicious abin wa ha promo no or the over 4 million Ghana cedis worth of cash any prizes and agumu a wo de ebeye na mpa chaw UDA ni hwehwe ongalicious promo packs no afei winim onga wo de ye aduane no onga powder promo sachets no fa 20 pe anase onga shrimp tablet no promo wrappers no for 20 pe na what the redemption point yesisi mia wodo bebre ye onga redemption center ben wo eno anu na wo kwa wabekwa kwaje o scratch card na wabakwaje no wo hwe ho after so present 20 sachets no and what you should that no wakwaje o scratch card now what dial star 713 star 27 hash and one no was catch we na mo aboko sa number maboy star 713 star 27 hash you win instantly achede ni bit say cash prize of 200,000 Ghana cedis, deep freezers, smart TVs, kitchen appliances and many more. Promo I shall say 15th April Yebe July 2026. Hooray! Don't miss it. In your film na emwa pa onga kaise advert we FDA edo stamp team to say eye ongalicious abin wo ha promo eno ana eko kaise for 20 onga shrimp tablets no ne wrappers no 20 ana ne powder no wrappers no 20 na was scratch ho number abahunu no aboko star 713 star 27 hash na wa win big instantly oba yenko
daily guide obokrata nkata fe to so ensia enamigine aprosifo achi substances bi a omu esusu se eye cocaine ya press so ai ne tratra mako aduonu mienu ena wo nsa akan enu achi sika bese 400,000 Ghana cedis so wo age ena counting machine ai de kan sika bi so wo de wo nsa atoso ni nyina ai operation bi aprosifo e de kwahyehyɛ so wo wie no ena wo chi enipa miensa e de episo bright aivo ifeanyi ijioba ena kwabena botwe wo nyina e wo Ghana aprosifo ensem kwadu e de bom ni se tese cocaine hu edwa ena wo edi a yachi wo mo e wo jowulu e wo enkran ha na prosifo echima April bosumi ne da na etoso edu na obi eti omo na so se enipa bi ehye dwowulu mpotam wa nubani hu dwa ene wo mu edi a wo pese wo mu eton enti aprosifo mu oma wo mu enye hai enti bosumi mu da etoso edu ba ko ene aprosifo bo modin a echi bright ayivo ene ifanyi ijuba ewo dwowulu ho wo mu totototo ma no no mu konya sa ade o mu susu se ye kokain yibe a ya press so ntra bese aduonu mienu edi fi wo mu enchei enti o mu guso ani nipa mienu twetwe nkomo no e na o mu bebo kwabena botwedi se wono susu di akotene pa e wo kokain edwadie emu e na o mu bedro a kwabena botwe e wo ka price wo mu di ni konifie e o Greater Estate e kwahwehwe ho a 400,000 Ghana cedis cash e na wo mu nsa e kaaye any counting machine fidi ide e kan sika ebi na ye chi kwabena botwa chese ono person o chese o ye guy enjo be bribe approach for 420,000 Ghana cedis na watumi abomodin age no ho approach for ampene so bribe ana adamudie 420,000 Ghana cedis no wo manye o magisika no esan e de ya dance approach for chima enipa miensa atwe wo mukukuma wo moboa ama wo mu hwehwemu awie peye enti se hwehwemu no wie peye se de wo prosifo epedia na enche wodi sa enipa nan ebekwa kopiem e wo court no anim daily guide and this story aba el katafeto so ensia
so boduamu na feme sankoi na yeni enkomo honorable Ahmed Ibrahim woye marasebegani e wo banda empesua so na wosaye minister for local government, rural development, religious and chieftaincy affairs. Now we say a Pentecost elder. Yene honorable to drink come. Honorable, what me come watching?
Mejo so many Kwame.
Na obremu boko de.
Kwame, ya mene mumpa e bonti e hu ye pa.
Special office of the special prosecutor hun semi minim se eye wanim sem e wo wa ese board asuja na sorry e wo wa na aba eno a de yete ya yese court aruli say oh sa woni tumi gisse odi asem bia odi na asem na kwada eji amane kwan ansa na wadi sabra na ye mo ye manu ye mra Special Prosecutor Act no na wo eye mrasebedwam na enkombo yi wonim ho de
Yo Kwame ma memfa mafidi so enchia etifo nyina we de anka memmam na wonum se okay FM de Ghana ha bibia wo beka wo bia no ndifo no no obi atie ndi se BBC na se ya chia yena ye concern about okay FM na say yetisim na yetetren
that's pa
na ya ko ese enne no nipa mbienu na ofre o mu nyina ye special prosecutor law no mu mbienu nyina o mu bia ni o ente uhwe minia John Dakuya nsemo ana obisa no o ye very good lawyer but when lawyer law no sa no mu the politics from enti na ne mehwa ne law ne mra nasa enti ubisa no
ne mra nasa
Kwame na say one time authorization na oka ubisa na say who say lawyer for say put it to you who put it to him say on your session train na wo no say na onya bibianka
o pede ye kan ne ho no ye de be share ho na kire say ya ma ne tumi
Kwame kire say sana lawyer for kotu on kotu session na kire sana Kwame to be honest on the special prosecutor issue we no started the promise was independent special prosecutor. Enche attorney general say sana that was the promise and now to make here. Afi obedu ya odin brano parliament no hu say untimi nye parliament intimi nye mbra a social constitution no and by the hierarchy of law an act of parliament cannot be superior to the constitution of Ghana. Until when an act of parliament, any constitution no SCR, constitution no a supreme. Until now do na kasa lawyer or former attorney general no. Obehu say you cannot make the prosecutorial power of the constitution of Ghana is vested in the attorney general. Until ultimately act of parliament ya obedi that prosecutorial power no. every Ediakoma that and no and or 50 goalposts no from independent special prosecutor to special prosecutor and or independent no free or into Yambrano who had one never to me obey prosecution and a lawyer for no move the seasoned lawyers at that time led by the then majority leader Osechi Mensah Bonsunum Omunyina ne bobo no mukafe in fact per article 88 of the constitution no untimi nyembra obeji tumi na attorney general into na special prosecutor no onko se attorney general na fe into us na fe then two na John Daku no eka ese attorney general no almost aban na appointee no into esa na untimi prosecutor aban no na special prosecutor is not the same president Article 195 and appointee omunyina. So clearly that thing is not there. And ebamra sem na yeka. Se na uni ho. Se umra na sa ka se mra na sa. But ye di mra no ni
so oni wo kro na wo ye mra nimu ni obi wo samra enti wo chim sade
Kwame sometimes silence is golden. Uni mu aka se enimu aka bi bo untimi kan no kre na aka wanotum. Kwame, any one-time authorization be our session on. And we were careful to dodge the surveyor as conflict here, perceived conflict attorney general seminar mayor, we seminar mayor no. We were careful not to let it arise. But Kwame, what will prevent special prosecutor to have a good working relationship with attorney general? Udi no kasa more to me Emma or more my own prosecutor. Kwame, is there not any other channels for to let Ghanaians know? And you think that attorney general be a special prosecutor be beko said the number HMO or be follow mrana attorney general say we dey mean prima on your way. Just follow the law and go and seek authorization. Sana mrano parliament ye no. And a ye no nye ndisi for na ye mrano. Oseche Mensah Bonsu and a majority Leonardo na ye president and ye mrano. And mrano ye no. Those MPs are no more on Bernard here for the Abamba Beniar and they are still there. They are still there. So these are people when you call them no more. And I Kwame, before the court no better case with the court will ask for parliamentary hazard. And consideration of the special prosecutor bill no. Dear in some and that is how judgment of such natures are done. And then there would be now the political emotions. And non cambrano and brano system or more primo problem and no more mbrano parliament and brano more debate this section no debate in the same see in talk of a parliamentary hazard yet the year special prosecutor now who was a debate here MPs near Kwame Nkrumah and no and a judge whether it is High Court, it is Supreme Court, it is Appeal Court, and no more background so among the judgment, not just opposed with the constitutional permission now. Now background no can say court to be a bit judge be a bit yaman interpretation. When your man be munetia judge be a man interpretation. I hear different for other judges.
Then they know what can I say. Say High Court to be and make a ruling be and bind another court to be. Also be as a judge no so no interpretation is except the Supreme Court and now make a determination in respect of
Kwame, is Kumasi High Court different from Accra High Court? High Court is a High Court. Kwame High Court is a High Court.
High Court is a High Court.
Correct. Supreme Court is a Supreme Court.
Court is a Supreme Court.
Yet on my na e ka say court be able manage judgment different one way ya in some way business no e no an say Kwame me for so na wo ye minua na ye ko ija court bi na ko nya judge bi dia Kwame so na me de me case be ba o na Kwame interest Ghana han so entiza o asomisia mbrano enu ntina omukon law school e practice lawyer for no practice asana ya fra o judge no ye wamrada wa ubesha ansana wa judgment no it is a mathematical calculation into judgment na woman no so the officer do so na woman judgment bi a emfa kwam edru promotion so a ye ko file cases no bi akwa na da bia na o sifa ko be bia o si. So some of those things no mo ma yemfa those things enwam. What I entreat me near John Darko say onye ni say onko as minority opposition MP onko parliament sa time we na mini ho Hazard na omudia special prosecutor bill no onko di sa hazard no na onkin kai a obeho trimu pa MPs no parliament enya ye embra no mu ka say special prosecutor enko di authorization emfree attorney general ndi enti a omu ye no MPP aban ye no sa at that time no ombe church na say oya no sa case close na yenji politics no free.
Ene honorable mama na wasena me se nyampanso mfama ho.
So me da say wa frame nyame nshira wo bebre.
O nshira won so Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim wono eye MP for Banda, Minister Local Government and Rural Development and Integration, Religious and Chieftaincy Affairs. Me pacho end point homeopathic Dr. Duboatin. Me say wa wo tie me anopai. So wo chronic disease yare a wako enkora. Fabra end point homeopathic clinic. Yare no obetu ase. Hwe yare bi te se hepatitis, diabetes, yare bi te se ulcer, yare bi te se ni yare. Wo a wo spine problem, wo a wo sciatica wuntini motwetwe, de ne na asiata ye, de wodwun so a esebia kemen de o prostate ne ho ka. Munyina momra end point homeopathic clinic. Me pa wo chew se wote pains bi e wo won kasa mu wo bones mu a. Fabra why na won sa yare. Me pa chew de all high blood pressure. Won so bomoden etumika ebra. Hwe bema unu obehia wo mpem na de gbani na ugye mu ntem a wonya akokọ yare. Afi oba ne bema mopa wo muso muntumika na momre. Na yare biara endpoint homeopathic clinic sa yare no. Na abedru wa wode afidie esi so. Afidie ne kire ba bia problem no wo. Na afidie ne twaduro de amawo ono anekọ. Obi fare yare ma endpoint homeopathic clinic nsa fa yare no ensa nsa na chi enkokwa. Endpoint homeopathic clinic no obema homeopathy nro a any side effect onu ma na ekọ obi mfa na yare ma endpoint homeopathic clinic sa fa yare no ensansan na chi enkokwa. Endpoint homeopathic clinic no Spintex Road Shell signboard Accra. Temakom 22 do afara junction go straight to Apogee Gardens, follow the sign to the clinic. Sumati branch no Kronma Bohia Angel Education School na chipe Takrade branch no o anaji police station no na chipe wo bi wo bunu tachiman heyinsa. End point homeopathy clinic Dr. Duboatin about 920 so freno untimi friend ne kwatcho number 2 bi nim da bia yare beba ba say de wa ma mo 30 minutes ono an kuta number no okuta phone no friend number me boy na Dr. Duboatin so enye so 0344 867068 0244 86 70 68 0244 86 70 68 0244 86 70 68 end point homeopathic clinic. Yankwa nana boache nana B oko school of Prempeh College or ye lawyer or ye national organizer edema MPP amanyukuo no na omo abato a omo beto no afi ede ayi mpanimfo no wosan ye incoming first vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party yenkwa gina ena yebua enti esi ahenefo as campaign manager for Nanabi no me tu manum tuo no maka kire mo se edade eda Nanabi for first vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party. Yene no entwetwe enkomo. Wa yene memo ache ebru. Na na bi memo ache.
Osempakani Kwame Nkrumah Tikese, ra Kwame mejuzo.
Ne mpomo te sen.
Twidi ampo adaroma. Nyame di achewi sa nso no di acheme. Nyame ayadom.
Enu a mo friends enchofo nhie mu press conference na ensemu a efiri mu baaye no ene sen.
Rakwa me no kre ma menchia onchia opamfo mo dandan boa o ma dandan dwumadi e ma no be kra behwe. Enra ye frɛ nsɛntrofo nhyiamudie na na ye pese ye ma Ghana ma nyina ne amansan nyina etie ne sɛ President Mahama ne NDC kamia koye sɛ kemamen ka bi amamuo sɛ ye party constitution ne fapem ba ko pa ne sɛ free speech na emre bi na etwam na nke wo bibi na efrɛ no criminal libel law. We nsɛntroni we obi a wokasa etimi criminalize free speech and nyame cha de ye free ye mranim nanso no kamia kwa sɛ yura Mahama eba ye opani ananka ɔse on na champion for free speech no ene o ya ye sɛ farasifo a ɔmo kare ɔmanim ɛma nyame so mpa na emu nso no emu ahoɔden ne pa de apare ɔmo asɛmbe ne bae na no yɛda sɔre a yɛkɔ ayie kura ɛwɔ dua nkwanta ya branche baako na ne maame da fam yɛkɔ ayie na ya branche baako bɔ no homɔden pa ɛwɔ Bono region ɔna yɛ communications officer ɛwɔ Sunyane East Baba Amando na ɔbɛbɔ me ne general secretary nyina amane sɛ police ato nsa afrɛ no sɛ nyame yɛ adom a ɔmmra ɛyɛ Sunyane okodu Sunyane no in fact yɛfrɛ hɔ na general yɛ so memfrɛ lawyer tua yɛ boa lawyer so yɛ adeɛ pa sanse na anka n'ani kura kyerɛ nkran no ɛhwɛ bra yɛfrɛ no saa no gya ne bibia ato hɔ enti Monday no ana ɔmokɔɛ kra sɛ Sunyane police ɔmo so munim ho hwee ɔmo ntie ho asɛm bia ɔmo nim si ato nsa bia afrɛ no ti ɔmo di sima kakra wɔ hɔ nti ɔmo dane ɔmo ni so ɔmo kwa na police force ade mirika sa bɛfrɛ ɔmo so ɔmo nyanteɛ from Accra sɛ ɔmo hia no wɔ Accra na nye Sunyane nti no ya arrest no Kwame ya arrest no abra yanka de kodi a ya arrest no which is a breach of our constitution and now obi anso civil liberties no so ya kyerɛ wo a ɔwɔ sɛ yɛka ofa ahodie no a constitution no asi no fapem no ya kyerɛ wo Kwame ɔwɔ sɛ yɛka adekora a wayɛ kyerɛ yanka hwe ankyerɛ no yɛ pia ne sɛ ka mu from Sunyane a ne de ne bedru ɛyɛ nkran anadwona no ɔba no ne nyanteɛ tie kora nso ne yɛkɔtwɛn yɛ in fact abro mudru na no na ne yɛwɔ CID headquarters so na party mpanyinfo na yɛwɔ hɔ na me wɔ hɔ minority leader na wɔ hɔ honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaib na wɔ hɔ na je baafo awua na wɔ hɔ lawyer fo akwa na wɔ hɔ enti ebra yɛkɔɛ ne di nkɔmɔ ka sɛ ɛdeɛ bɛyɛ na wayɛ yɛhwɛ na so ma print ni Facebook post a ne na watwerɛ hɔ no ɛyɛ ɔde ɔmampanimfo ni ɛde fellowship su kwache ɛde ɛyɛ Sam George ana wadware ɔmo LGBTQ colors bi ya pempam tade a show AI generated ɛna sanse nansen LGBTQ ababa yɛ nsɛm ana edi ahimpa na yewura Mahama ne nkɔma okodi nansen ene Felix nso de ɔde bɛso so ɛna ama nsɛm na ebubuja ɔkɔka sɛ ne de LGBTQ no kra de sɛbe enye ne mfasode saa na enema ehu hia wɔ hɔnom nti ɛno no nye ne priority ɛno na ma asɔfoɔ ɛno na ma imam ɛna ma Ghana fo nyinaa no atwe ɔma no edisi aban so sɛ ade a wo anya mu mfasode a wo bɔ mu dahuro ɛyɛ mu ɔyɛ kyerɛ nsɛm a wɔkaayɛ a wɔnya mu abatoɔ mu mfasode no ɛnde isɛbe waso afena mo so ya wie abɛyɔ mampa nti wo sɛ na de no ho hia obi de no ho nkɔmɔba na akwakodu sɛ ne san de na sɛ wɔkra wɔfɔfɔ ade we si so enti Facebook post a obi ayɛ a odi wumfoni aba a ɔde LGBTQ colors ɛde afɔrefɔre ho ɛna mode abɔ ne kwadu sɛ publication of false news ɛno ani o Kwame ɛno nti no match no yɛyɛ ya na police we man bill anadwona ɛne ɛda o mas na ɔmo sɛ anopa no on be reported anopa no Kwame report ya afei asema mo kan sɛ order from above asiem process no for court
eno why na e kan sa kire mu
enti yensu yedimra so enye hwe na kokotran wa me kokotran yi
na wadaruma why na e ka kire mu say order from above.
Oh, omwana wo no yeka ye was information no because your man bill bill we no the following day cry so in fact bill bond no and in your standing security nyina no na minority leader understand ye ko anopa no mkokodu ye no na nkita hodie because wa sensan bibia wi nti se muhia na mo sa be frɛ no eno ani yeah information or very credible information now o ma tere court nya ayemfa no ko court 9 na court 9 ho no minima gana krom de ho kwa na sa animal farm judge no wo court 9 ho na ana no wo ni okoka Idi Amin court yi animal farmer o kinkan animal farm o dwumadi so echechem na ho na no wo court 9 kru ye judge Joseph Kunsun ho no so wo ana judge Joseph Kunsun yi ekoma na ne ehu court dem mo se na nka mini ho ena nkobi ka kyerɛ me Kwame Nkrumah me nwanwa ba we di amanimu a ɛhwa na metie ne ekobi a metie ebra judge ebetena adwamu na prosecution ekenkan omo nsɛm kwadu a yɛde abɔ no ansa na no ombeteki ni plea o se onye guilty ma charges no so bo a yɛde abɔ no yɛkenkan kyerɛ no ne abusa no wodi bema na wodi fo no wayi ano omo ta shita omo de ba ya ne omo komodie mu nyina kwa me prosecution anka se o abrantie o obi a ye hwe no ye breye ye to nsa frɛ no kwa ye nya no ye investigation bi ntino eye judge kan hye dem anafa no koto aban kokum na ye hia no a ya say yi na pi san komobo no anko so da so prosecution never put in any application for remand and omo nso a ebra osan hia fanyo martin kasa ono so no make application for bail ni bail you make application prosecution never opposed the bail application just say enya ade a omuka se omutia eye adesrede a eye baba amando a lawyer for edi ato court nimu se omoma nko na enya ade a ne hu owa ha yenim no ono a yeto nsa free ni ono a na koye ena no pay kran so amuka se musa hia ni kwe ono a na asa aba ntinya ade obekọ ba bia eye prosecution for they never opposed ena omo so man fa application bia anto ena Kwame ebiem kran se na nkomu hia no for any investigation and now they have that opportunity say nkom betimi keeping for 48 hours sanse mra no emma police say wo chiri obi a obetimi di nipa na to mu be 48 hours which is 2 days now they you hwehwe mu say 2 days ne so na so okoso wa hia nipa no anso de ne be court no aka check court and some man remand na we die prosecution an kan hwe o ma make any application bia o mo nso o ma pose application a eye baba man do lawyer for edi tudwa no afi me wan say judge busa prosecution say entino mu hia no for investigation na asa opeso odi asem bi show mutrim e ho na me yam hye me na mete ho na me say judge am say adwembo ne ya ba de trim because they also busa question so busa leading questions eti ebrebe na mbe hia de investigation no na mu hia no de prosecution say oh
banane metie narratives from other unuanum lawyer for me o say court no edu ba bia nye necessarily say e bia prosecution e be ka say oh ye flight risk ana we say ye hia na e be frɛ ne de court no a judge no atimi e ka say mo fa nkosie wo bra obi am put in any request
eno no ye say some circumstances be above before the judge. For instance, say there have been times where ebia ye ka say me ka say na no asemi kwa kopi court na about judgment debt obide so bo abebo aban sa aban de neka na judge nso hwemu a say attorney general say nkomu defend aban na so mun defend ni ye enti omo ye hwe han ma aban aboka ti judge ni timi ginam ka say there be judgment debt die enya de na mra kwa so eno no wo ho ye wo say ebia evidence bi aba wonim say akwai nko dwane akwai oyobi a oye gidigidi all background no mo peso oyobi a oye notorious na ebia attorney general anase police for a person mo brebra so because the judge is there for justice. It was a for Sunday man say there be adia ebia police for ye dey ase omoya ni nkofo yi ya kanana because me share the facts before me na me hwe ni page na ho na me hwe ne nema bi a ya there be ebia kanana bi ya komuntu ni judge ni betimi agina maka say we dey say we put in application so we put you me hwe ne akoso na me hwe the evidence before me there be foreign trim. But here is the case. Ukotu nsane free nipa no osunyane. Ono a ne bae. O bae wo so wachire no. Wuchi no de na basunyane. O de na bankran. O de ne bankran wo ma ne bail. Na senka police for ma ne bail no mo de ne ba 2 days ni na nkom yesa different. And the nature of the crime. We a misdemeanor. Ebi ami ke nipa na kwakodi ewu. Ana nipa na kobọ krono bi a okore tuo. Ana wakwa pra obi. Different. But we know where do a more hakra. I friend misdemeanor. It is a misdemeanor, no say. Prosecution no busa. Say fani twiri mu kakrama ye. Nye investigation. Prosecution no so oppose bail application accuse no lawyers in the maya. Then is it then a whole judge na wodi wuti sim se chinchina mu hia no me de ne betwiri mu. Is it then? No, conventional.
Almost say sometimes it's at the discretion of the judge.
Yes, bill there is at the discretion, but you also look at the facts. So, who discretion and it's a exercise no capriciously. Yes, who to me so ya dia o de enema bebre ka ho. Enu tina me ka se ne na o ye ne nipa no ye no. Enye crime a emu odu onkoku nipa. Onfa etu onkobo okro no. Etino se misdemeanor nipa court na se wo prosecution emu where they come and bail dada. Esi de na wo jaja uti dwamu no de wo si de wo hia no me de ne betwirim. Na kwa me yenhwe ade a yeso oyeyi. Eno tina me ka say Yura Mahama ni NDC they have become highly
but morally ade oye ne de
they are destroying our democratic credentials.
Nana
tell me
so ni sa ade oye no enye etiamra.
You see me nyamia no nukre ni obusa na enya hwe.
Oh how?
Again aye Kwame because na say AI ni social media nkomodi edi ye kan say no say get three
baba tio wo ba sori anopa na ye twauti akosi obi tiri so sabi wone obi da na na bi
Kwame we nya so bi no bi da asem eyo no bi andaye.
Yeah, example na make come.
Example ni different. And no dey say time. E me for say example we no dey. Issues na aba no. Ana ye ka LGBTQ ho asem.
Wo di AI aye wa hye na we gi ato na no.
Malik Basentali any amampani da chebe de Kwame.
Na
Kwame kasa ya won tia na so nkwa na wo ti wo mentia wo ti me.
Say e mampani wo hoyi. Na wo di AI generate bibi. Ahye na we gi ato na no. Abon pons when a nim machine kaba. Any atade in fact senye etiama.
Kwame woni ha say na NDC for communicators timide yewura na nado danko akufo adom fo ni to ho. No mo de sebe nya adoma no kredu emutibe de aboa kra to chato. Uhu bi da. Uhu se omokofa yewura Baumia the next president. Malik Basentali or no Malik Basentali no. So wonim say yewura Mahmoud Baumia eye avowed Muslim. Now the ensa akwahye ne nsam. Now the pok akura no. That brand na Yura Mamadou Baumia a police council chairman. Omi akwache no.
Sabe na esa mumi ache no.
Ebi Kwame ene me no kasa na nkwa kasa because kema men kabi no. Anya bibia na eya na ye preja ne makoso den sa Debi.
Oh okay.
We are not in a police state. Debi Someone who talk you one kase na do kofo play na on TV no wu. Someone who talk NDC journalist or sit na do kofo play na on TV no wu. But any asa when this if one so mo demonstration. Erade kuna na do maye. Erade kuna na do maye. Na na do say o man erade kuna na do maye. When na kwa arrest you mo. When na kwa chire wo mo. When na kwa arrest you mo. Look. Sa gege se mi asam George ka se hu ye wura ba omia na hu ye wura na po a uni se LGBTQ for na ekọ no. He said it on campaign platforms. A vote for them is LGBTQ. Why na kwache no? Why na kwache no? It just a omo ya highly intolerant. And an yemi ya any kwanya judge for be afaso emi use omo. If they don't know, they are destroying their career. And if papa yo come Idi Amin ruling better than him sa obi abe say mra no wasi ni trase. It will be there. Okoka animal farm ho asem sa ka say I am mra mu no. Unim say all of us are equal before the law. But in practice, and yet all of us in here equal before the law. What can a whole judge. And then you're promoting in the high court. And this our judge, Joseph Kunsuni, and many others. I'm a man of use woman. And you achieve a certain purpose. No, it is dangerous. So what you also watch the panel, Krana, misdemeanor, 1 man of bail, your investigation, who caution be out the famano. But I dream many one ya dream is a obetini panel, na police for Nankasa money bill. Now, what judge will say, was out the Bokako Chili Mubium. That is what my problem is. About how we are criminalizing free speech. Yes, you are brought your judge or war adenta court or your political judge. And when the judicial secretary a petition police say I'm quoting abroad. Hey, now judicial secretary opening now Nkrumah and I Kwame Kase and my program no mo ya na chachuchika te kasa wase no. Kwame program e.
Omo anano. Na omo anano.
Oh no mo anano. Who say no no kasa na no. Osai e brande judges say omo unanimous FC. No kasa no. No see ebesi ne 2020 results no yenim san say unanimous FC protected in Mensa no now. So we have had some senior people in NDC branding and mocking judges on unanimous FC from MPP lawyer judges. Now abronya koka say judge or identity a political judge. Judicial secretary what tracker and they come police and say no. Hey, opening for money. You will be you. Opening you should be my politicians. And you see the judiciary as an instrument for victimization, harassment, and as some agenda for maybe radio mkoye wa fa kofiduma oni hwe yakobuni den yokofo kobuni den hwehwe ho tutuni niamam se binti emfa deben na waye se ye bune without any warrant, nothing. Ya bawura ho the bedroom, the washroom, the bubu doors any kiki niam egu honom. Where from this? Where from this? Kwame. Where from this? A general someone can say there are serious issues. And my teacher for ya, Omobabe Bo Chunku, our Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education. See, almost 70 billion swan a bisu. Oba no tradi no yam. Now what to me at the achradia, our none bashanity. na wakyerɛ adeɛ afe ne akyire ne yɛntua ne ka ɛnso NDC party every month yɛwura mahama at the 20,000 ɛkɔkɔma constituency executives now the 50,000 akɔkɔma regional executives eti wayɛ saa for 1 year 1 year no Ghana aboka through this 60 million Ghana cedis every month every month yɛwura mahama de sika free Jubilee House at the comma NDC executives 276 20,000 Ghana cedis 20,000 Ghana cedis and some of the regional parties were the 50,000 as akwa afimu and wire sadie way afimu no or the more close to 60 million Ghana cedis and ade akwa yeah the party for yet teacher ni ono akɔkyerɛ ade 1 year no yentua ne ka koko farmer no na don koko ebi akɔbɔ bosia no yati ne koko so from 3,600 ayɛ about 2,500 and so Yero Muhammad sika 60 million in 1 year or the akɔkɔma ne party for someone from waso muslim ɛnɛ galamsey ayɛ west yɛse baba mam amando akɔ pedal falsehood na ayi kwam yɛ senke po bi a wa pedal falsehood a o senke china ankenye ayi okuja tablaka kwam yɛ po bi a yɛse wo ditro waka ne nim wabɔ ne srema kansɛm be ha nani sɛ Ghana ora no ebenya be 21 billion every enei attorney general say useless mere allegation yɛwura domlewu na no ka ora team now say garbage enema no mo nsakeka ni nyina na okuja to di be calculate 21 billion no garbage it is yes obi akɔpɛdo falsehood enu ti akɔ kyerɛ ne dia ene so nke chi okuja to because no nkɔ for sense mo do to dwa nya no falsehood garbage enen kan ya bɔkɔ soro nsuo bɔkɔ soro fuel prices ne nam wiem asetre mo yɛ den unnecessary for yɛntua mo ka teachers ayɛ adwuma yɛntua mo ka and automatic posting of teachers yɛtwam ejene teachers who are on 40,000 no aben de clearance ba no so mo fa nipa 7,000 pe akando so we nurse a menya wadwen se mo adwuma sisi ayi o san se aban ni sike di tua woka etini aban ho beso na aban befa aban yi promise 24-hour economy enne yo mo se nkra no nkoye indomie iwu aban a obedi trode che Ghana mabunu meba obi benya adwuma no pa na bia adwuma wia na bia adwuma nwumre obi benya adwuma ye eyi ho t-shirts eyi ho billboards ade a na edoma no mabunu benya adwuma ye kan sama kese ene mo ba ye adwuma yi muntimi nye ene wo se omo info analytics so bi omo de ba ye se NDC use 78% se adwuma ni hono mo nye na omani abre pa ene mo so mo nkoye indomie na omunko bie indomie joint mako 20 sebe kwame afidie su sebe indomie joint no ya de abo eni wura ne bi se omunko bie exactly na wo so omunko bie indomie joint mako 20 every day bi obenya mfa so be 200 a month obenya 20,000 obo nipa no jetre
yan running up wadaruma why
it kwame enema ekoso Ghana ha se ene aban ya under pressure no there is serious pressure on this government serious pressure because bosha mo hye no na mudu hu di betu Ghana ene ni nyina no mabubu so ene ko abuso kan ko he eto anan ko mutua no 4% ne yapagem de ko 20% yapagem de ko 20% ewie ne yɛsa de 1 cedi sa bɛto yɛfu wɔ so ɛda dum so na asɛ piepie dum so na asɛ piepie eti nneɛma a ɛhu hia sɛ ɔsɛ abɛn de na adwen kɔ so ɛna abɛn pɛ so yi yɛn adwen efiri so ɛna wahyɛ asɛ na ɔpɛ so ɔkyekye nkɔfo yi. But let me say this, Kwame, MPP, we are never intimidated. Look, I love the spirit of Baba Amando. The boy is more energized. He is very positive minded. And what one baku say? Oh yeah, brantemu. Yeah, and ya dia ye bebo hu obi bia mu say da. Ba omon kai said to me, say et say ice block people cry. Kwame ebe nane. E na sha se nane no. O omon kai emre o ye ninka so. Omon kai nye dia show mon sa no monye. Kwame ebiem ye wura mahama mesrew
na yemfa nkomonsi wada ma na me ko ye.
So ubeja very good legacy e dia magana Kwame medas away any adekwa enu efe nyamisha.
Nana B na ye ne na atwe nkomo no wo ye national organizer e de ma NDC amanyukuo no hwe national organizer de ma MPP amanyukuo no na oye incoming first vice chairman of the new patriotic party inti yene na atwetwe enkomo fansema ehuhiam okay 101.7 eso eni na ye humeso aba ye ba enkomo ho na mom Eco Bank se wadi mobile app aba won se ebraso se na kane na usika de control wa na de Eco Bank mobile app no be mo wan kasa wa control usika would buy transactions across 33 African countries, anywhere in the world. Wo command you secretary water bill, electricity bill, school fees, obey payments I would win in AB. Na mobile money transfer in one obey would the EcoBank money mobile app no na there. So money commander no download no. Our EcoBank mobile app na our app store and I say Play Store na command the usika. Command in each say, will pay attention to details. Eco Bank and throw SMS, one send you SMS FRP mount, one time premium, one time pin for money, and now for our bank card details and our Ghana card details, there be. When in doubt, say be now on Tiasia for Eco Bank, our call center 0800 003225. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Okay, 101.7. Mommy and woman swear, ye ba na fe ya hwe enkomo ahodo a ewo ho.
Okay, FM 101.7.
Yamenu Ejaba boni di adwa ma wubi eti yamenu afahin na mahie fufuo ti ase dada minya wofoi papa so ba fie ni anwie fufuo ya asam aba na so oben wadi fufuo edi mpreni ne mpresa da kro ba ye di ni ehwe fufuo a akwade wonwane adwa mo adwuma se me ne fie adwuma di mini fufuo kakra ba o medie no ene otu metwa da pasa aso wo kan na matiri nyira what ate na make am mebo a ebo de odi komum na se sia de obra to otwa fufuo ai wo wodwo pam na wo ma siu na wo timu aba na wo sadade na wo timfra kwada ne nyina tuatwa make say ya needful sadaroma wo bia mani ye pa ya wa ya mbode fufuo ne mankani fufuo a wa ne powder wo de gu da kama ya yefra no needful fufuo enya no bi na masori ba ntilizi kama me di ye yo sese bia ma me hwe oh e bia needful fufuo eya kama say bode fufuo ne mankani fufuo papa bi na wo ka say twan eposim na ede na me se wo kan so ancho simanu mpe no wa wie wo hie wo kwa papa bi aguso be chese de ama mani kura agisa needful fufuo ho ama me ko tobi kura ba ne se de Ghana for sipom fufuo no eno an wo ye nu enti se wo hwa fufuo won pam wodom ne we nu a wo ho susuna bia wom wo nso de bode ne mankani fufuo papa bi ejanie eni afi na fufuo na afi na wo bedi pa ne se de wo bedi ne se ne wo fa mojaduro ana pawia ne anadwo a wo koda needful fufuo e wo wo fi a eni gyenko a
FGA agi ejwadie nkratoi atom
Kuma eda yesiwa nyina ne se obeye military commander.
Attention! Eyes right. Stand at ease.
Ogusuri eda yesiwa adwumanti. Ni sika na okomande wa EcoBank mobile app so.
Operation Supply Aketria. Dispatch Sika 1,000 units via Crack Benin in 10-10-10.
Etoda, ope extra control na wetumi ato enyama ohia pe.
Mobile app command center. Activate virtual card protocols. Nitria sneakers ni t-shirt. Leather coats no dear. Abort mission.
Sure say, General Adakrano. Na ne standing orders with any bills so. Wa EcoBank mobile app so no. Ubetumi akomande usika. Die didwe wa Ghana ni abibrem aman eduesa mensa so. Download the EcoBank mobile app or play an Apple Store. Neyara.
By the left, about turn.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank, Enfreo, ana enseno SMS, emisa wo pin, OTP, bank card, ana Ghana card, samo da.
Kwame, mi ya umuao. Meba penyin kane no ni made pa. Na so nan se bua no obon. Medwene ho amenti ase.
Na so we dey simple gra. Fanuko White Stone Dental and Eye Care. Na yen checking anima no.
Oh, jai samani abrewate. Meba bona make as much as me faniko eye care clinic.
Na wonnim se enkwada bi wo no mo a. Wo de sua enko yie nyina no efi wani. Akwada bi wo a abra teacher ni kira de no. Won hu ade ni yi. So wo tie anima na so wo tie akire. Eba ne sa. Fanabra White Stone Dental and Eye Care. Ni nya nhwehwemu mfa na ni ho. Oha bia entam so yewe ni asia no ama no.
Ayampa o. Na sekro ni yade no eba emonka ye. Wadwe ye se bibia ye fine. Wo be ko na bibia ka echi na wani sei. Na sekro masate se wono momoja broso na esiche yade no. Aya na momoni yade pa.
Sapepepe. Onipa bia kra no afimu wankwa check up awani ho kra no. Enyem prenu. White Stone Dental and Eye Clinic say fa wonu wabusua nyina. Ebra na yenya hwehwemu emfa mani ene mo se ho. Oha bia no ye behwe na asia no e de amamo. Ye wo abafun fidie ultra modern diagnostic machines ahodo a ye de yesa nhwemu no. Ye dwuma efon so de. Wani wote enti ba ye beje o fel so. White Stone Dental and Eye Care e wo East Legon. Ye be MTN office kese no. Free was 024-225-1983 and 024-045-2992. White Stone Dental and Eye Care. Wenni eno kania.
Efiura, me mwachi o Efiura. Yes on.
Machi o Efiura. Efiura me chia wonye so.
Hey, Eura, enfase mamsu. Wati? E ba force chia me. Mo yem no.
Won so pepe.
Hey, oh, wa fi, we die me pese oni Efiura bekon. Efiura we die ye kwa sori abo. Eura de. Mo kwa sori. Ye bompa ye. Eura de ka soro hwa. Wati? E be se wo ba hwa wa kraba kumpo wunya. Onipa da sane timi koto this way chocolate drink. No ne yire ne mma edi nsuo hie twabia nom anopa. No wi a wasade bia hye fridge mu. Wo mako school pon a wasan ba be yi anom. Enu mpore se ne nka ne twaso mu pa ende ye rekore. Ne fie wura beti ha. Anopa dio, ewia dio, enumre dia mo no makodew. Mo mame. Na mu wi a ma soro akotra so ndem se ye kosum ya.
Mesi na dia ya late nso miyanki kabinje Efiura ye wi a yakosere bo fache. Ke Efiura, wuti fia se light bill no water bill ba wuntua bi. Boa se sika na fa koto this way chocolate drink. Na ba nom.
Hwe me catch you play nya play fa. Say this way chocolate drink no. Metumi ato bi pa na so na me so mo ahwe wate. E de me hia ne nsuohie. Na nsuohie so me ntoi. Se me bufu a betumi ato bag mu a wate. Yeah, Efiura, we nkwa de ma abunfu. E koto nyanwe.
Efiura fi de ya bre ma abunfu bi.
Munyam sumponie. Munyam sumponie. Na mo ba ye trimodefo.
FDA agi edwedie nkratoi atom.
Okay, FM 101.7.
Okay, 101.7 so ni ebusuafo da so eti edwa so ye bedi enkomo na de aye emram nsam ni enchechiremu ni ade kakrakra na ye de ko na moma memfa ade wei entumi pacho so wo wa tie me ade bi tia mra pa e betimi de wako afiase Ghana fotaye na mi kodi nkomo wei aba me ba mechirechire mu e de akire mu na yenkoi na yene Dr. Edubuaten a ogina o ma Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic emfa enkomo enhye so na ya wade bia no ya na yedi apomden ho enkomo yedi apomden ho so enkomo na doc me mo wache
Mejo so Kwame Nkrumah Tikese.
Doc na unpom ti sen.
Kwame Nkrumah da woma bibi aboko pa
endpoint adwumayɛfoɔ ne asoɛyɛ hɔ nso no nneɛma ɛkɔ so.
Kwame yegu so den yeah preparation in anticipation of your Father's Day program no a ɛbɛba so no ɛno no ɛyɛ akyɛdeɛ Father's Day sɛde de bia no ya na de ya na yɛ ne sɛ nke during that time no yɛ free screening the ma Ghana mema na this time around no kwame ya sesam kakra if you say ye hunu say obi wo ha free screening ni duru a obeba no ababayem all the medical testing nyina wa hunu bibi ebia wo ho a wa ye check no wa hu say bia nipa no ewo ebia prostate inya nu pempenso a ebetima hye ne rubber nipa no say bia mekɔ na meba kwame nipa no beba bi mu no oba kwatena mu a bi abai 1 year down the line oba no ya hye ne rubber obi tu okra no ade na yakra kese ne se obi ho obeba no na bia waye test no na wahunu se bia hepatitis ebi eni ho na wache nipa no se ene bon ho ban kwan a betima fa so obeba ho ban ene se ye bewo opane bi a ye fe ne se vaccination na sa opane no ye de wo wa ebeba ho ban 10 solid years sebi ono obi kura kokosia na wonim se nipa no wo hepatitis ni bia enya dia na nipa no bia no hia na wo bi mpokra no a enya likely se samwa wan bi ebetimi abetena wo mu kama be ka che nipa no o si yo mate
okay
100 Ghana cedis ne kwaba ana obi ho an se o mabiem the following year obeba so oba be ye check no na yade no a na woni bi no afei de oba check no na sa yade no bi e woni pa no so ene nti kwame de ye hu ni se ya mpese ye be waste sika se oba spend bi about 1,000 to 1,500 Ghana cedis on somebody ade nti a ye sa ade no ye ne se de nipa ne betina eden yade bi ntimi emmo na kofiri mu yade bi ntimi ma metena nipa no so na enso so be ye sa ade no be wi ne nipa no ho hawe wo ho no ne nipa ne betumi yi na wantimi antena ho obi eba no wahunu se bi a stroke kura wo nipa na boboa no kwa nipa ne be call weba no oma weba biem no na weba na stroke no wati hwiche mu a wo ba enti kwa me de pese ye ne se afi Father's Day de ne de ya kyede se sika no a na ye de free screening de ma wo mo no se sika no mo mu na kwa me de akototo akyede ye di bia to microwaves ye di bia to rice cookers ye di bia to irons ye di bia to no ma bebre over 2,000 plus and kwame ye beche during that time na said ye see doors nti no I mean it will be done in 2 days and nti de dem bia wa ba clinic ho why treatment we because we treatment no be 5 years ago wo card ya fa card na fa to na kwame enya me ne pa Father's Day no enya ya announcement no a oni akọ ba eno ansi ayu folder no ni ahwe yade we na de bai oba na wo stroke ya hwewa ma ho atọ oba na wo hunsuo nye papa ya hwe wotimi aye treatment no ama afa de hunsuo ni ye papa oba na wabubu ati akonyam enne watimi asore it come eno na ye de behwe ye no na ye yam ana obi wo so kra so a na ogusu a wo ye treatment ana obi wo kra no a emre wom afa na ono na gbe so wo ba clinic wo no a once ono so gusu a oba no wo ye ni treatment no kwame no ono so no ye me ma na kyede efi se de pese ye ne se de Ghana ye betuma fa ye ntoma pefra kwame ye hia working class ya omwa medically no mo ye fit omo betimi aye amagana etima fa na ntoma pefra eni nti endpoint de bidu fro bi abakora ekire se o sa wo ho yade na kwame ye ma wo akyede eso e de apeye so ekire se wo do oman Ghana o sa wo ho yade efi se wo do oman Ghana eni nti na apesa wo ho ye den na yade bi entimi nye de enfa ho hwe fom eti kwame we ni no ma ye gusu ye ho preparation towards that day Ba me busa me na bibia eboko.
Yo doc ene de me pese me no di.
Okay, FM.
Ekoma me pese me no di effects of infection and fertility. Na me kire mu aba twikasem a. Wobi wo wa yeso anya gonorrhea, wobi wo won so yeso anya syphilis, chlamydia nem de ka ho. Na no ka ho bi nti na na bia be ma no woni be hia ba ne ntimi nguba. Ana wo ba no so ne be ma hia wo mo ntimi enguba. Yebusa se edie na ema saa yarewa yi affect se obi ntimi ngu be ma na se wo ba. Dr. Ade Akye Abia yebesa abon na yensa akano na yasa edi enkomo no. Okay, 101.7 so any Chiro number yi eto Dr. Ade Akye number no chiro to ye ne di wie enkomo na yebesa abaso na yedi enkomo. Okay, 101.7 so ni na me ka se ansa na yi enkomo yi bekwa wie na edi show yi bekwa wie no Ade Abia ye che na me pese obi anso tie bi enie enkomo no ade am pese obi anso tie bi enie ene se mratia ma min ko to ade no ewo Cyber Security Act 2020 ni mpacho Act 1038 tieniye non-consensual sharing of intimate image. Was a person shall not, section 67 I'm making with intent to cause serious emotional distress, intentionally distribute or intentionally cause another person to distribute the intimate image of prohibited visual recording of another identifiable person without the consent of the person depicted in the intimate image, in respect of which there was a reasonable expectation of privacy, both at the time of creation of the image or visual recording and at the time the offense was committed. Was say any sort that sani biara ya wono obi a video ana obi obi video anase obi recording wani wadi ni kokoa mu na wa ma wo ho kwan se fa beto abontene na odi abeto abontene.
Okay, FM.
Was say without the person's consent. Enti mu amoya we ya me do video beba abonten no me pam chew emra so mu a enya asem ketwa sempo eye recording say ye nkomo bi a woni wadie sa nkomo no onka se fa beto abonten eye nkomo ana woni udi nkomo wo phone so no na wo record no wo wi a no ahya ase share wasi ye mfum so kese pacho tie ni ye se ana se obi video bi a oni kwa ho fa so nyaaye ai se wan peska we ya mame a me share sa video no nanam sumam nipa no akọ ohawmu you find serious emotional distress. Be managing my nkesene obedi yaw enu saa de ni nyina mpacho emra ne city wo obeto saa mra yi no ese se ye de utum ye moka na ye do betum not less than 1 year to 3 years. Pacho muti Yerubatum not less than 3 years. afei section 68 no so sa ka sei section 68 no so aka sei say obia ni wa esese o threaten another person enam di ka kan no say okay we imagine anase me ne wada me da no me video enti no se wa anyesa na se me ne wadi nkomo bi e o phone so ma record na sa nkomo no se wa anya me so me ne ba beto abonten was even sa threat no kura no se wo ye na court ni nya sa danse na eno so wo betimi adem anya bia kura no 1 year ena court no so eni se wode atum buru mfie miensa wo ba kɔ da fiase yɛmfa mo yɛkɔto dwem na yɛde ama mo momfa ɛwɔ mmerem nti mede foto bɛba abante meyi oseni ade no wɔse mmra etia yɛhome so aba okay 101.7 so nyame adom yɛnsa aka doc ɛwɔ ahoma no so na yɛmfa enkomo so ntoa so doc mesa mo akɔ aba bio
na jo so Kwame Nkrumah Tikese
na me bisa se infections etimi ka ho bi ma oba ene bema obehwe na wo mu ntimi enya wo affect wo mu fertility na ekwan beso ene bia STIs bia gonorrhea chlamydia syphilis ene chronic ba no etimi affect nipa se betimi ama na anyemba ana oba so betimi anyem
Kwame meda sepa machia atiefo nyina Kwame ene uhwe ewiase a medically no yese uhwe ema ne mema awale a obehu se uyi ema ne mema awale emu enwotwe anase uyi nipa be enwotwe egina ho a couples o mawale no obehu se emu baako out of 8 no enya awale enya awo emu problem na Kwame awo mu problem no bebre no ano obehu se ya na omeba hospital no bebre no ano utimi hu se enye awo mu problem a ebi ade wu nipa no na abehwemu no na eye problem a eye infection a ebetena nipa no so na wanhwe entu ase ana wanhwe ansa ho yare last week it didn't come off infection it me affect kidney na infection bi so it me affect awo especially oba ne bema awale oba no kra bi owo school no owo baako ana mienu ana se owo otimi nyem baako afi opinyin sen na bi mma bema no awo baako ana mienu da ene wo pinyin sen no intimi mma na mpembebre no omeba hospital no emu 80% no obehwe no na ye infection bi a eba nipa no so a wanhwe entu ase ena de saa oyeni no eba ababesu nipa no so na kwa infections ni omo hudu bebre ye obi wa bacteria ye obi wa yeast infection ye obi wa fungi ye obi wa virus ni nyina no ba wo so no wantima ahwe entu ase a ama etimi edidi kɔ wawodie nim sɛ wo ye oba na wo ye bɛn metimi edidi kɔ wawodie nim na akofa awo mu haw aba besuyew enu ntu rehu infection bi wa chlamydia gonorrhea mycoplasma HPV another human papilloma virus yeast infection and Kwame ada
okay
itimi efa endem itima besu ni padeten we no so firi wa ebi wo okra no so a na nye enya mmoa wa infection no enya mmoa wa wo oba ne be ma no ekodaye na omunyaaye ebi wo abo nse na eye infection bi a oba no aka bi a agyanan so anase okọ washroom ebi ena nipa no ekokonya ta emmawa no ubo nse na nipa na hwe entu ase yi no eni nti bo se etimi didia na no so akofa ta awo mu hawo aba behwe na Kwame se oba ma me hye wo emema no so The Bema enya enamun how anaso wonya infection. Na wanhwe entu asia. Ana wanhwe entwiti amana emfiri kwa. Ama ubehu se bebre no ano. Infection ni timi didi. Etimi de kɔ Bema no sebi ne bibi a obabi a oproduce the sperm so no. It will be na bebre sperm so no. Enya matured. O de opeki na de kɔ microscope mu. E professor de mmoawa ntiti a ebi wo ha mmoawa no eye sluggishly. Omo movement no enya papa. Both aboa no move in a sluggish way. It will be Bema no oba ni hia ye no ano. Na ne hunsuo ni nyina move back. It will ne oba na hia. Eso so bo se nsuo no efiri ne ho eba no. Bo se ni nyina no na asa na chi. Asa back. It be oba no sole ye no na nsuo no asa na chi. Eno no eye hunsunsu anso ni bia. Sa nsuo ya okwame obi mema no asa infection ya so no. Etimma mema bebre no ano almost sperm production no. Obi ho betimi no oba ahia. Bo se no hunsuo na eba na kiti. Affected the sperm production. Baby a sperm nansa no testicular no anasa ne testicles no. Kwame mpemebire no it me cause inflammation. Infection ni bit me cause inflammation wom. Na said the enka was ka sperm no enka baby a enka testicles no mu enka bia production ne be cause wo no. Enam say inflammation abamu nti no. Ne production ye kakra bi. Eni to bitimi no oba akwa ahia. Na ne hunsuo no kra bi ama. Obi betimi ane oba ahia nsuo ne bi makra. Ena obi wo so obi beba enso beba no kiti bi na eba. Ena obi wo so a saa infection no etimi eko block bibi wo ebeka no say epididymis, the storage system for the sperm. Anasa spermatic cord baby a bema no nsuo ne befa ne bema mu ade aba na ho aba oba na ho no ne de no kra so etimi cause blockage. And into be what would produce sperm no, but sperm intimi nya dey. And now there's a blockage with the spermatic cord in no. Sperm no intimi nya dey intimi pie emma. E kobasa no a empemebiri no ano obi wo kra no a ne hunsuo wote se ne ho asane but nsuo ni mfiri ne ho emma oba ne ho. Anazo obi wo so kwa nsuo ni kiti obi wo so a obi wo ha woni oba oni ne yiri hia nsuo ni beba to bi wo so kra nso a emakra ni nyina no ejina saa infection enoma etimi etimi ekose eti ebi wo so kra no a saa infection ya no etimi ekose na ba ma bi akonya bibi afa ne se penile atrophy na chese hormone no a etimi boama ba ma ebe ma eyekese no kwame obo se obi wo ha na de no abre na se entubo se wa wunim se de obema ni sitie na afedi ahya se ehi ene ebeka ne se penile atrophy. Kwame empembebre no ano obi wo so kwa zo a infection it me change the shape of the sperms. Sperm obi ano ewo etire ewo body and ewo tail. Etemowa no ewura into the sperm production and as enya contact with the sperm no a kwame obi wo ha etimi yi o sperm no ti ebi wo etimi yi ne tail no. Eti bo se obi wa obe fa ne sperm na de beko afide nwa so na efe ne microscope mu no obo se sperm no wo ho enso ebi ni tire ebi ni tail ebi ni ne to ne ni to a sperm ne ntimi swimi. Eti bo se it affects the motility of the sperm, it affects the morphology of the sperm, it affects the shape and animal movement and the thickness and nyina. Eti wa woni se enam se sperm no production answer no intimi nkoso no because ka bema de se ka infection and ka sperm production no and ka ade and ka stop that e twaso sa e dinti na ka wo betimi no oba ahia obi betimi no oba ahia ne wo chena chi every day bia so de bia onya sperm ne ba abonten because production no it continues without any stopping and stop it. And so I'm saying inflammation and that's infection community no. Ubo say production no say because ka 100% here. Obi the age na be say 40%. And to be produce but to produce enough. To be or no be here e beba to bua nsuo ne mba to bo so ba wo se nsuo ni eye euro bi wa wotum se nsuo wi ayekɔ die enya de etimi kwakɔ ye bibi ede amawo Kwame, apart from that no etimi affect the production of bibi ebeka ne say testosterone, the male androgen hormone responsible for sexual function no Kwame etimi affect no na affect ne sa no a bo se say nipa da tani no na ama na tenka ekofom infection who infect ni bi no etima tenka no ekofom na obi wo ha na tenka no betima ekofom a chef se ekofom no ampen wasam anka beduru mebi no na afa be ma no epagya kura na intimi pagya biem anaso obi wo kura nso betima pagya enso so no se de nka tenka se de nka no ne yiri hia se de nka wo se ko otimi tene de no efa no ne de no oyeba won se dante de bia no an se eba yuru Kwame eno so eye insurance ni bia etimi ede besoe emema na ma no so no so oba so nya infection na Kwame eno so wampa ho asema anka ana wantwiti ni ntam empem bebiri no ano infection ni bebiri no ano ekọ into bibia beka no se fallopian tubes nim ekọ into the fallopian tubes nim a na I cause blockage and ekọ fa bibia fence ectopic pregnancy nti tabi be ma no nso ni kọ fallopian tube nim a obi wo ha adane mojapoa no a wose ke back into oba no awodie nim no na Kwame I get stuck a blocking our fallopian tubes nim a block of fallopian tubes nim a na enyini no enam se tubes nim ni kwa se ho na akora no eda also obeda awodie nim nti no na o se yekokoye operation ene ye fe ne se ectopic pregnancy ya anya ntam ko etimi kum oba no obi so wo ha sansuo no atimi begya na awodie nim na akose inflammation wa awodie nim nti awodie nim ntimi mfa ba obi so wa sansuo no infection no a wa hu ni ntemi nti no etimi cause bi offense PID na ma nsuo abegina oba ne kosua ho e beka no se ovarian cyst nti ma nkosua na nya papa oba no kosua na enya papa nti ontimi nto kra entimi nya matured na ba ma nsuo aba be fertilizer no infection ni bi so kra so etimi cause cancer e wo mamu ubon se ye fe bibi human papilloma virus na ubon se eno no so no akoye kokram abeto oba no awodi ano ye beka no se service no eno so no the effects of Ade beka no se infection ni bi eno sa ade no e ma bebre no ano etimi cause bibi e fe no se vaginitis na ama se bi the lining of the vagina na se no kwa ubon se bebre no na aye inflamed na ye inflamed this area ubon se sa oba no bo se woni be machia na bo se wote yaw pa so eti wemu nyina no eya ade a enti obi wo kra so oba bi wo kra no won tukosua oba bi wo bo se nkosua na wato no Kwame enye matured oba bi wo bo se nkosua no beba nya be check nkosua no the production of the ovaries no anase ovaries no bo se nkosua no bo se obi wo ha na de na ye limited kitwa bi wemu nyina no the effects and the complications of Ade Abia can say infections ya eba ye treating ye anase bi wo kra eba ye nim se enya bi no Kwame ehun sunsanso no ehun sunsanso na mabobo bi so e de ama etifo no
na dokwe se oba na be ma wo ho a ebe den wo hunu se me wo infection we na infection so me wo no this type bibia say na say yeast infection ana STI ana de be den na nipa kura hu
very difficult so betuma hu say infection amanya without checking no betuma hu say gonorrhea na wanya chlamydia ana say yeast infection candidiasis and on call Kwame very difficult to tell some of the infection ni bi okra no a enyi sunsanso any signs and symptoms and they do acquire any signs and symptoms impo especially a minor infection na oba bebre o wa won sign bia it is a nya be man na bia one na yere be hia e na be man no bia ne be man betima hyehye no ana betima ye ne ya na waka kire oba ne se o menya infection tin me party treatia oba ne bi okra na wo hunu so nya infection it infection ni bi o wa of course e bi also na so oba ne be hu a ubon se bi e betima man nsu agu no na ma sekeka no ana se bi obi okra no a obon so de bibi panase a bon se nsuo no aye yellowish bi ana se ye greenish ana se etimi sha se emane menses no distort no so eti we mu no some of the memma no na Kwame mpebebiri no ano the bema enya most of the infection no within a matter of 2 days to 7 days no bema na betima nso odun so a obetima te yaw ana ne bema mbetimi ahyehye no ana so odun so a obetimi aye de achem ana se nso fita betima fi ne bema maba ana se moja kora betima fi na yi maba ma no bi so kora obu ha odun so abon so wochem ana na ya se etimi ye de eye ne ya ana se nso betimi agu no ena Kwame nya infection ni nyina no na the symptoms eba ebi wo a before the symptoms beba no na adibone ewo reproductive organs no na adibone ewo inside pa it come basically no we are lucky these are some of the symptoms here oba na be ma obetimi enya emekwa wanya infection
na eyi sa infections here affect be ma na oba entimane wo no yetimi treat na ekwan ben so na me fanse bia endpoint homeopathic clinic mo fa so treat no
Kwame a simple cry, yetimi treat. Na kwanya fa so yetimi treat ne say. First of all, we need to identify infection pro Emma because the bebre no infection ne beba no. E bia no wan hu ne ntem. Na ahya ase na afi wo pa wo na nyinsan ne ma. Na bia wa wo ye be ma ntina de bia meka se wo ye be ma na wo ye oba. Ade efiri wo hu ba bia no try na examine it. Wa wo pa wo nyinsan mai. Na wa wo ye bema ebia no oba ni hia wa hwese de ohunsuo ni sitie se de agene fa no Kwame eni kwa se wo tena ho o so wutimi ba na ye check hwese anya bia ohunsuo ne papa na se enye papa edie na ekoso a ni ntia mansuo ni enye papa ye betima hwese ade na ma ye hwema wo a na ye hunu se ebia wo sperm no na ahoden akofom na ebia ahoden na akofom na eye yade we infection we na de sa ade ne ba ya Kwame ya no afi amu oduro ebetimi ayeden ayelin sa infection no enya firi ho a na wo treat sperm no a Kwame bi say nipa de no obesi ne obenya enough sperm etimi de anyam na yere sa so na ma no so no Kwame eno so de o se ya na se eno so ye lab and scan na ya hwese e de na ema nyinsan no ntimi ma ana se de nti na oba no wonyema na asai ana say dinti no ba nya ectopic pregnancy yenya hunu adekora the cause of the problem no but true lab and scan ameni amu adura ebetimi akorrect saade no enti say enipa we say obi pese obe check some of these things na Kwame ema no kwa the scan no free for awodie mu ne ho ko no ba nyina no free awodie ni mu no na lab no 300 Ghana cedis de be check infections ni hormones no 300 cedis emema edie na ye 500 Ghana cedis Kwame with this no obetimi hunu say me ne oba betima anyam ana me ntimi no oba anyam na ayi sa wa hawo na firi wa enne obi pawo be man peso ba ko ye check enu nti no odi asam na so oba no obi ho a na madwen mu omra obo wan so no obi akwakosia akohwe se ana se mema ne bebre kura no inte so be ba hospital no ama ya cheke ahwese obetimi awo ana se wontimi nwo no Kwame wodi ema na ye cheke enne no oni akusia akwakoda ohweza akusia betima nyama wochena no oni afia akwakoda etu ahweye boso obi anyam wase wona me ne wanyam ebedu nrebi no obakọ cheke no yesese akura no enye wodia na enye wo ba no nkwa na me di blame ma no na me di blame ma wo be ma no so efisa wotimi cheke ya enna wa hu se wontimi nyem a enka oba ne ka se wonyem anyema ma wo no Kwame nka wa no ka obede ka obe dauti ama ka wo nkọhwe akura no ankodu mpempenso ansa na obeka se akura no kwa anya wo ba efisa wakọ hospital ene yese wo problem o treat su ya ebe difficult say obema otimi ewo no oba bi beka se me kwanyem e de aba behye no so edi Kwame we mu ye normal yenya su ye ya etimi ema no kwa de ya no mo ya de ema no bebere no na ebeba ayasa bia aba be check etimi be check ma wodiem ba se mema bebere no abeba na ya hwe se omu nsuo no eye papa na se nye papa no baby o bebere no de ema aye testing machine and what they check wɔde ɔpɛ sɛ wɔkyɛke sɛ ne ho sie papa a ɔne mmaa ɛne kyɛkeɛ na wode kyɛkeɛ no ɛdeɛ na kyerɛ sɛ ɔbaa no nyinsɛn na wɔnyem no ɛyɛ wo bɛrima no wo na wanyem no ɛyɛ asɛmsɛbɛ end point to me party clinic yɛsɛ yadeɛ bi ɛhaw biaa yɛgu so yɛ free scanning for prostate ɛna yɛyɛ free scanning for awoɔ mu ɛhaw lab no ɛyɛ 300 Ghana cedis. End point yɛwɔ Spintex Road Shell signboard yɛyɛ adwuma Monday to Saturday 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. yɛwɔ bi so wɔ Tema Committee 22 behind Kowana So Hotel Kumasi Kronom Aboahia Takoradi Anaje Queen of Peace wobɛtuma frɛ end point ɛhaw bi de ɛhaw bia de bia meka sɛ mede me number ne to dwa bɔmmɔde na peke number no ne frɛ anaa peke number ne fa toɔ ɛnɛ na wonni wɔ haw bia wɔkyena wobinim de bisie mesrɛ wa wo nipa da sani wohia sɛ wobɛnya doctor bi wobɛnya lawyer bi wobɛnya obi a wonim sɛ asɛm bi to a wobɛtumi ayɛ dɛ afrɛ na fa number yi ne fa toɔ no daakye ɛbɛyɛ mfa so de ama wo number no yɛ 0244 86 70 68 0244 86 70 68 0244 86 70 68 0244 86 70 68 Kwame Meda sese ama me konya na me ne Ghana for akasa. I salute you this morning. Nakopon ka ho.
Onka wo so wo ho Dr. Duboate na ye ne de enkomo na wie no. Ya na wa frɛ no na wo to ne so adi enkomo 0244 867068. Okay, 101.7 so ni. Yemre. Oba
Bema.
Na me ka asɛm bi wɔ ha me ko tu mra bi wɔ ha.
Oh, okay.
Du ba bi a na ye tietie bia na ye de atoto ye ho emra bi a ewo ha ewo cyber security act ni mu
okay
section 67 68 o say obi ani ho esese obi nkoma wani wadie bi a phone so ebi a enam kura no woni ni intimate relationship enam
okay
na bia more than more video na obewan said da bonten ra wa mana mane anye ni permission ana ni consent
onya we hu ya said da bonten
hu ya said da bonten
okay
emra ni so mu a wobede fiase not less than 1 year.
Wow.
Nemum judge ntimi fa wontum emro 3 years.
Okay. Between 1
to 3
to 3 years. Emro.
Afei wonso obi ho a wo so ya me do videos e ba
na omo de blackmail o man. We will nude deben.
O mine mra e chewa. One democracy 1 year to 3 years.
Wow.
A cyber security act no section 67 and 68.
Wow. And then that is omo my years ano omo nimo. Ne say me na me girl, me na me boy. Na ne ho me hini me ni na nya asem ti me oni nude deben me be ba bonten.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Ye
ba nya sa wonim de ntia etesa no.
There be.
Ko bia ba kwa wiade. Uwia de ni wie bisa access anam nim so uwia de ye
boni
ya be kwa force obi ni nada
emom
ubisa no a anam nim se o force ni
obi da boni asemo
wa de empesam chire
meti ase pa ndi omum pesa ansem ni bia tie nti any actual no
it was cyber security act ni mu
wow ani bebre na anya we omufu so omu na omu
enti me de me se ye bompa ye se menya aban
mani ende no krepa
cause e ba wi a ni yakwawe mra no na e dia
bedu ampo obaka say yetu ahwe mai obaka say mra bia ni ba bia nanso enya bawie a fe na obehu si ye be kwa akohwehwe mbra no eno krepa ade abewew wi wa no ba bia nso enye ya make say ho na chew asemo asempa ntene ni nananum ni echi yeso ya yaban amane
yeso
aban ni aban amane
ban amane
yen hwehwem kura woni fokura na wo ho fa afaw no ya asemo wo fa emu kontembra konebra
na 100 years kura de bo ka it make us 2000 penalties
no asichenzen
kire say one penalty bia no 12 cities
and
if 12 cities is times 2000
agro hey ayo sana ya ajire
na chire
wow
yeah nananom
24,000
okay
24,000
yes
wow
nti yaka chense onkotua 2000 wonkotua 2000 penalties 24,000
hey meka ba minim se bia sa na chire wow
na ye nananom penso no wa mo de yesi ebeju predwan ahanu
na no so predwan ni chire se den
predwan no tete wosika no 16 shillings
for one predwan
ba ku bia
ejina o 16 shillings hey ni akoka sa ahanu a
kaka sa ahanu tua predwan ahanu tinu do ye bo kasa ahinu na
200
bia na wasere so
okay ye hwan so ama
so o nte so anu ana ese okopa busia betua
eya semu wonim se mka se ka predwan na te se odwan sa ampao madwe ni se ye ka predwan na mi se senke ya ka predwan he no bia 200 sheep sa na madwe ya mi
I don't know whether it is by design
wow
me awudo bi a me ko piepie ye enum ne ade no me insight into so many things
very good abua pa
kan ye ya oba ho ade nso a tete wo no na ye 13 shillings
wow
na say
13 shillings
enu predwan
enu predwan se predwan ni
16 shillings
ti enu predwan predwan was written tete ho oba ho ade wow
and na penalty
na so make us na the best amen so ye ka so bi ntua sa 13 shillings na nafomo
obi na no fum bedwam yes ye ju predwan
yes kaketwa yes kaketwa kra
ebi o a tetewa no hu se omo ye amamme ne amane bebrede bo aware ye ho ban ni titi oba aware
okay
oba aware ye ntu na nibua ye nso na bakon wrist ye nso ye nkamfo na tofo
wow
ye man san ye ntu na nibua ye fiansa ntunu kom
na ko ka se wa kamfo na ne ho efe
oni ho efe de obetimi aka
okay
we di obosi o
obosi
akamfo ana bia wo se wakwasuo
na bia oba I see obetima kamfo na dia asa na eye oh okay enen tamre na niam bebre ho a na yato na jeje mu a obi yiri kra etimi hage no obi yiri etimi man peg e ona fono ho obi yiri etimi so ni sisi etimi chia ne nchia fe na ye titi ne nsam eno nso ya asemo mo fa ne yen hwe no nso ho asem ne yen kan yen hwe no nso ho asem nka over mama fa story in chema ansa no waba daily guide obokrata no me hwe krata fa to so edumiensa na sachet water ne bo okosuro of I say pure water ya tum 70 pesos
na ye ni a ye pensuo de ene ese
ene mo nyire mo mpeska 70 pesos ya tum
eyi mi di nkomo esesi a na adamfo nua bi so afre
oh okay
wo se kane no na yedi asɛm ne ebua wo fo a emprempren yi enei odwan boɔ ɛne yɛde hwɛ so de akyagye wo eti ka ade to no mfa nse bia nkenei sɛ de yesi to dwan no yɛtɔ no 700 a yɛagyu empredwan miɛnsa
ne utiate o
utiate ɛna na yimfo no bi gye boro so nti ɔmo yɛ ɔmo adwen sɛ ɛne yɛbɛpɛge no
ai ebia say 7 na 7 10 na 10
de bagi 16 shillings
okay
it would ye eno ano it just na word no is originated from imprempre dwan imprempre dwan so just how ye dey wo ye calculation na odwan a ne bo tete wo ye bia be srako no otimi di ba ko juice redu e dey no e wa ha
enso ha
ya
no
udi kuni kwa so obagi abro
okay
eti sabre no na meka aware asem no se bia oba no wakwasuo so wakwade
wakwasuo
e na wo ba
ka se okonsuo
there be enkonsuo
wakwasuo
aha okay a river no any stream no e asuo enti ko asuo ma yenye nsuo nom nsuo no de yesanom no na de free osoro eba no eno so ye osuo enti osuo beto agu asuom ame akosa nsuo ame akosuo akosa nsuo abenom
ofanya abotre brabio osuo beto agu asuom ame akosa nsuo
ame akosa asuo ade abeye nsuo anom wow osuo babu a me kwasuo me ose kwasuo na bu ahina
kwasuo na bu ahina
aha eti me kwasuo na suo ya me kwede mbesi niema ba me kwasuo na me de gu ahina mu so obi hia nsuo so obenom a masabi amanom
okay ti osuo asuo nsuo
aha
okay osuo nsuo ni nyina difference o ti osuo no ye de eto no na asuo ni ye stream na river no okay na nsuo ye wo sanom oh okay fa me da sepa
afei twifo ni amuta aka ba ko bi
ye ka me keka fra plant na who difference no
osuo wa mo yam si dwumadie
e wo dwumadie na se ofanye won
David
enye twi won
dwumadie ni a tax to perform me wo dwumadie bi di wo dwumadie na se
I have a tax to perform.
Yeah, eni ni dwumadie.
Dwumadie.
Me wo dwumadie bi di e wo dwumadie na se. Dwumadie no ye program.
So I have a tax to perform at the program.
Aha.
Oh, okay. So dwumadie, I have a tax to perform. Dwumadie program no. Na if I am mixing na ye kan dwumadie. Oh, me kwa me ka bi. Dwumadie.
Eti oba dwumadie na se.
Oba dwumadie na se. Oba program na se.
Aha.
Oba event na se.
Obedi dwuma. E wa ase.
Okay. Obedi dwuma wa ase. Okay. Tinye dwumadie.
Ne ebre.
Ya kano wrongly.
But as dwumadie bi ko so.
Ya ta.
So ka se dwumadie bi ko so a tax was performed.
A tax was performed.
Ba ka se dwumadie bi ko so a program, there was a program.
And a program took place.
Exactly.
Okay. There was a program or a program took place. Okay. But who difference no? Ntina ye se nya kra ye tin kra se meka se dwumadie bi ko so.
Never.
Ampa. Dwumadie bi ko so. Word ni the same but tonation na my asesa.
Enti the free language, you know, a tonal language.
The bia o kan sa se.
Enti obi be kan sa ye se ni twi num emunti.
Matipa the twi ni monte nkofo kan. The twi
ni. It is me no kasa na aduanu be just mindi. What is that?
Mini.
Mindi.
And I said mindi na ewre ni o mindi. So mo de chichi o.
Anya kasa.
Okay. That's the part me who
the castle woni no so woni.
So woni. Mindi. Okay. Mati ase pa anya kasa.
Edi edi se me fa ne se wako na do nsa akoto obi ri komu a ye beji upredwan de di kai ye beji wa yefre
ne nsa keke na odi to nikom
hey
ofa se ne nkofo hage nkofo yire no obi kwa timi ni kasa otimi ne mene ni di agrosa otimi bone to
de hey
mene ni wosa
de bi
okay o man peg on afono yi
eye musuo ye beji upredwan ye beji wa yefre
ayefre hey ni ofa na
de ma se chance de woni nada
sa peg wow but even sa to nikom keke ma boni ma tapping the waist akra
ewo aware hu nie obi yire eve okuntunu ho ene bia wo si ade ene ekwan na de na chi no eye hia
isa
wuduru ho a ebo mamu so na memfa ho nko to yeso pagya ni mu na wafa ho ansa na wasa kuntunu aye
ukofa ho na wokuntu okuntua
die
why boni won
die na why boni no ye hu e beji why frɛ die e ma nananom ye sanse okuntunu hɔ no wa wi a wo fa na kire no na adwembɔne bi wa trim no sisim wo bi o ye obi yire
enya agro
ye ma ne sign ye nto na niboa
wow
ye mfiansa ntunu kom ye so na bakon ye mfiansa ntunu sisi achi peg kura de musuo
I see
yen kanfo na tofo de o form pa
o form
wo wayi
eno so wanya ase
hey
le me kanfo keke
wo kwaye na wa tu
ye
nini nkora nyina ho wo nini gina ho kan ade aba asem wo nini di agrase o se fa me she akiri na watam obi yire di na she akiri bora ma me papa
Ova sanda na ma fo one ne wosa o na danfo o ni bestie o se obi ni bebre o bestie
one ne wo
to o ni bestie
o wari wi a asa
o ni bestie no
bestie
o fa kan ko un TV da so obi ni obi o bestie
there be
o fa
mama o bestie so enti omo ya ade bi edoto ho won se ye oba ho ade a oba ne nua mema no ye mo akontaje sekan na enye sekan ankasa o
okay
akonta jisika we ne fasi kwan
sa
afabo unua ba no ho ban emame se efi na akure ni onu obi a wa yensi ngro adamfo atwam enti onya ware wie na se obi anu oni ni di agro wo na ba se bia mehwehwe asomesia woni di o mka kyewo
debi
oni wo kwa se ba cho oni wo na ke bibia busa wo
I see menene nko
ba wa afo mfa be madamfo
ne die ofa bebre na fofo ye mema o oba fo bi kwati mi kasa ne best friend ye bema ono e ne bestie onya nware ye ni nyina one na ne kasumsem afutuo nyina on de ma no e no ware ye nyina nso di bia be koso na ware mu nyina opa futuo a ono a ne de be ma no nti o ye ne bestie nti bu kasa ma ware awie na oba ware fo eni be madamfo a ofa se saafo no so ebe ye omudin
o se de ade
onya nware ye nyina ono na fofo ye mema na ne mema na oni omdi agwo no bako na ene best
enti sa akontaji sikan no di odi beba ware no ho ba bia wonkoto se taya se ye sekai
ase kire no
se ye tuo
sa
di edi ma no wonfa mo wonyina kwan na no
ayo okay
what me
I see. No watch as me
afei akanfo agro ni nyina bibisa adoa ketenum ni ade no won say yes science oba mu
ai me hu say ai ansuso munim
debi won ma agro ndia
debi
obi wa ye obi yire wasa na efe no obeyi udwam na na dan sisi echi
but obi yire ndi otimi yi ni dwom
oh wo be yi ni dwom kura no a edwom de yi ni sei ebi asika no wo ye ni sei otim de kire no sei na de ato dwom
mfa nto no mama so
wo sei
osa na mtimi mme wona mfa ntare wo mama so ana mfa ntare wa basa ho ana wa kuntu wona
ebi the best abetimi aya say ebi adukunu abo no wo di ye adukunu sei na wa yiwunsa
sa
I
see
yes meyi ni bedwom bia
ene zenye asam kitwa boy
ugina ho obey wa nantuo
se nyame abode na wo kanfo
nyame abode
ye nyankopon
nyame abode wa ware
onka so de me kwada o o se obey wa nantuo
efiri kun na akono
efiri na ide
efiri kun na akono o ti aze
o wa kan won kan bone
efiri kun
efi ba ko na komienu and wa kan ba ko pe ba no ho fe wa nantuo chale girl no wo fo mo hwe na nantu boni o ho ne da
e die na ba afiri mu
bibia mente o kan fo no
wa me
ani mraso die titire bia ye adwuma pa o jaye
oba wa afo ye ni nyina wo nche die nkomo na ani ni die
adwuma BBC na woni o meeting because woni o me bo mu a
wo na abona mane
o ye mi colleague manya asem
what me asesi ana ba mane o
da bi mi colleague meeting wanti mi ama enye sa asem si am na mbana mane o wanti mi ama meeting na me bo ni
ekura ase awade meeting be ne ko so
adwuma mu
ma me fa we enfem happy glorious birthday to Madam Cynthia Amate, who is Director of Human Resources ewo ECG. And ne when 60 years pepe na enenso ne retirement day. Madam Cynthia Amate, Director of Human Resource. When 60 years pepe na your birthday, enenso your retirement day. Now we wish her happy retirement and thanks for her good work to humankind. Much respect, Mommy. From all the 14 districts in the eastern region, ECG for there, and our Womade Emma Womankasa Emma me, if you ba Abraham Lincoln or ECG, Koforidia, and Odema was a woman, a quenya, Emma no, a seven ECG, and now walk out Jimmy, Yahua Noa Niwachi, Yahua Noa in Shroud, now one found qua Ahmujimu. Once again, happy birthday to Madam Cynthia Marty, Director of Human Resource, ECG. Happy birthday and happy retirement day. Bye-bye. Happy birthday to Mr. Collins Odru, our Lawson Limited event and float manager. A free virgin son, and now or the buy nekese obebunu. And now also at the buy. Okay, 101.7 so in here. Obaye sorry so.
Aye.
Yes, sorry so na yako. Na DJ Fletch and so
abebonyo.
Ta. Yamamu nyina monitia oje nyado. Yakram yefrem ready akwa sa no Kwame Nkrumah Tikese morning show president of the Lami Pedo open kwa mo studio mi. Enamote hima efia kire enka. Yakram. Maba.
Mami nyi de tu madini na ye.